trick, or what's their newest trick.
Okay.
Guys like Mitu will say like, oh, there's so many. And
Yeah.
like, what do you mean so many? It's because
Yeah.
from the moment you take off till the moment you land, there's so many opportunities to do slightly different things with the board, or do a different kite loop or a different spin. And
Whoa, look at this one.
yeah, and some of them, are really great for the guy who's never seen kiteboarding to watch, because it's spinning, it's in the air,
And it's
like,
different.
will he land it, will he won't? And then it also offers loads for the guy or girl who's been really into board sports for a long time and understand the critical nature of some landings, So the basic thing that you're looking for is where his lines are. So his lines were very, very upright.
Yeah.
Coming down from that trick, which gives him a floaty landing. So good for high jumps.
Yeah.
Good for some variations. And then you'll see some other tricks there where he's looping the kite. His lines go on a more horizontal nature. Project him like a cannon through the air.
Oh, you got more range on your landing.
Exactly. There's more risk there of the kite dropping you out of the sky. So
like dropping to the flat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's kind of bringing everything in, risk factor with power, but also with making sure that you make all your landings.
We're seeing a lot of variation of the tricks in this heat.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, but it's pretty standard for a strapless freestyle competition, and for
It's such an open canvas for tricks.
Yeah. I'm so pleased that we're managing to bring a live stream to this one as well, because it's probably the most it's the freshest, newest discipline in the sport, but it's probably the most misunderstood as well.
Okay.
So you might see a image in a magazine and imagine what's involved in the trick, but when you see a trick from start to finish, there's so much involved.
You can learn
Yeah.
a lot from this image here, from the action here. Once again, thanks our sponsors, Sprite, Red Bull. And we're going to go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the action, so stick around.
Foi sumido. O sabor original de Sprite voltou.
We are back here in action all the way from Prea, Ceará State, Northeast region of Brazil. Thank you all guys for being here. This open canvas sport of strapless kite surfing, amazing tricks, amazing riders, newcomers, legends of the sports, amazing clash here, amazing atmosphere. Thank our sponsors, thank our Rancho do Peixe, our structure here, the GKA tour crew, our friends at 213 Sports, Pedro leading the guys. Let's see. This is the legend of the sport, the groundbreaking guy. Mito all the way from Cabo Verde. So cool to be able to talk Portuguese with this guy. It's amazing connection with the guys. It's so organic, the tour here. Everybody's with the same plane just to help the sport and make the sport bigger.
Yeah. And Mitu has done. There's no one done more for strapless freestyle than Mitu. They call him the Maestro.
I love this nickname, man, Maestro.
It just goes with him. His whole personality is so warm and friendly, and but on the water he's great. He just never stops riding. But the small differences. So he did a front roll there, and halfway through the front roll, I don't know if you saw, but he switched his feet.
Whoa.
So it's a small thing, but it's so difficult.
Like a varial type of trick.
Yeah. And coming down and landing switch.
Amazing, landing on switch. Everything landing on switch is tougher, guys.
Here's a guy who we were impressed with last round from Portugal.
He nailed the last round,
Rafael,
guys.
yeah.
Different style.
First rider to land a surface pass, a handle pass.
Yeah. And the only one today.
In this event, yeah.
Unique, guys.
Ayrton's kind of the specialist in it. and does some amazing ones. Like, you would not believe that he's strapless in it. So I imagine he saw that and he'll...
Is Mido using a different board right now?
Yeah,
Or is it
Mitsu's using a board that F1 developed, which is really for strapless freestyle.
Oh,
So
cool.
F1, one of the sponsors of this event.
Amazing.
Certainly one of the pioneers of kitesurfing as a brand. But he's riding the Slice, so they have a really... Mitsu has his own... He's one of the first riders
Model.
have a signature range
Oh,
of surfboards.
this is so cool.
Yeah,
They're like a
yeah,
pro model, like
yeah.
skateboarding.
It's one of F1's best sellers, but they brought in the Slice because it's a really all-round board, the Mitsu. So, so it works really well in waves and in flat water. But the Slice has slightly different channels. It's a bit flatter. It gets going quicker and is made for fast takeoffs and dealing with fast landings. So
Okay, so it's time for call another interview. So go on, Joe.
From Spain to Ifa, my hometown, so I've been rooting for you. Gustavo, congratulations coming off of that heat in the wind. Your conditions, you're loose to strong winds. How do you feel?
I'm
no sound. No sound.
We're going to adjust a little audio problem here. We were right back with Joey, an interview with Gustavo. I was trying to lip sync him, try to figure out what he's talking, but it's too much for me, guys. Sorry.
You have many skills. I wouldn't have put it past you. DJing,
cooker,
chefing for the world,
chef
skateboarding,
cuisine,
surfing. Yeah.
All with passion.
Back roll with a kite loop from Mitsu. Did you see the injection of power he got from there halfway through?
On the end of the trick, halfway.
It's nice.
Amazing. When Mido is in the water, it's like a clinic.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's why people call him a maestro.
Yeah, you see him in a wave though. Unbelievable.
Whoa,
Rafael,
nice job from
on.
Rafael, man. Joining to the crowd.
Stepping it up for Portugal. Come on. Pointing at the kicker there, was he?
Oh, yeah. That's we got a nickname for Portugal's guy, the connection from Brazilian guys to Portugal. Our Patricios, like our brothers.
Okay. Yeah.
Getting speed, Mito. How cool people, the riders are performing just in front up to the judges here. A lot of clean tricks going off.
Let's see, front roll, shove it. You know, one of the...
You call it double front roll?
I think it was a single front roll, shove it, yeah. One of the cleaner kind of butt check. A lot of them have been butt checked because the water's pretty bumpy today, so it was probably one of the best ones that we saw.
Okay, guys, time to have another chat with Joey and Gustavo. Let's try this one, guys.
Hey guys, yeah, so we're back. We had a little error there. So Gustavo, once again, you're coming from Spain. You're from my hometown, Tarifa. So I'm rooting for you. You've been doing really, really well, going super. Win seems like it's filling in again. How do you feel? And congratulations on that win.
Thank you so much. The heat was so hard. You know, I was riding with Gianmarco. Gianmarco is really strong in the heat. Yeah, I feel good. I was thinking to use my 8 between 8 and 9. Finally, I get my 9 and was the best. Yeah.
You definitely took the right decision there. We could see you're known for the riders that go the highest. To see the heats and hopefully get to the podium. So good luck on that.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
Nice job between friends. Thank you, Joe. Congrats, Gustavo. Nice job, man. Super technical in this heat.
Yeah, Gustavo opting for the 9 meter there. We've been commenting that the guys are riding between 8s and 9s. A 9 is going to give him a little bit more height and a little bit more stability overhead, a bit more hang time. Mitsu going for the double, almost into the
going
triple.
for broke there. Oh, Rafael too, man.
But yeah, for sure, a little bit more time in the air paid off there for Gustavo. But it's a balance. You can't have too, you know, if you have too much power, you're losing your balance and everything else. But
if you try to use a 10 one, going to be too much hanging time.
And as you get down into these smaller sizes, the difference that a 9 will offer you compared to an 8 is quite big.
Okay. It's not a small difference.
It's not really a small difference. I mean, 9 is kind of a really good size for big air on a twin tip because you can handle so much more power.
Cool.
And what we've seen from the wave kite designs over the last few years is in an 8-meter kind of having a bit more lift as well.
Okay.
So making it so that drop down to an 8 isn't so big, but you get an advantage.
Okay. Mito is super ahead of Rafael da Costa right now.
Double front into the rodeo land and
Whoa.
switch. Oh, see, that Mitsu has so much time. The amount of times in his career, he's 35, he's the oldest guy on the tour. The amount of cumulative hours that he's had doing
Oh my
freestyle,
God.
like halfway through a spin,
He's the biggest legend.
He just imagine how slow he sees time, you know, and he's going through the air and has the time to
Almost like a matrix.
link all the bits together. Yeah, exactly.
Nice clash, generation clash right now.
See, that's the other thing about Mitsu. He crashed it, but comes up landing away.
How come, man?
Like, he just controls the board.
Come
on, Rafael.
Can we name this trick? Or does this trick have a name already?
It's the Air Jesus walk.
Oh, cool. Air Jesus walk. Like Christian Rosai, Christian Air.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, man.
Rafael's enjoying himself.
Kudos for all the audience here from Portugal. Abraço a todos de Portugal hospedados aqui curtindo essa competição.
Nice bit of technicality at the back from Mitsu, going for a front roll, switching the board halfway through, landing switch, and coming back on his new tack. Just nice. Nice to watch. Technicality, looking smooth.
Buzzer beater trick. If you start the trick in the buzzer beater, the trick can count?
I think it will, yeah.
Ok.
Yeah.
Outro abraço também ao povo de Cabo Verde hospedado aqui curtindo a performance do maestro.
So good to see. I mean, I'm so pleased that this live stream's going on because honestly, in all the competitions that I've been involved with, the atmosphere on this tour is really good. It's
I can tell.
fun, it's warm.
It's a family affair,
yeah,
almost. So we're going to go for a quick commercial break, guys. We'll be right back with the competition, the action, so stick around.
Foi sumido. O sabor original de Sprite voltou.
We'll be riding with the action here, all the way from Prea. The beach of Prea, the region is northeastern Brazil, Ceará state. We're held in here at GKA, first and groundbreaking live streaming here, broadcasting. All the pleasure to be here. Thank you guys, our supporters, our sponsors, and the GKA crew. Thank you very much, Jim, to have me here. I'm super proud to be a part.
Pleasure to be sharing this hot little box that we have on the beach here in Prea with you. Yes, you're originally from you're from Rio. You live in Rio.
Oh yeah.
How long was your flight then from Rio? An internal flight.
I'm gonna use the expression from strapless kite-surfing. I tic-tac in São Paulo. I change airports in São Paulo. 1 hour for changing the traffic of São Paulo downtown, Babylon, and then I go to another. Our crew went to another airport. Then we came straight from Fortaleza. We drove like 300 kilometers here. So I was traveling almost one day. I left my home at 4 o'clock in the morning. I arrived here like midnight.
Okay, so not actually that much different from the time it took me to get here from the UK.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. A straight flight can come like the same time. I can go to Chile faster and surf there in the cold water and come back to Rio.
Nice to wake up in a place like this.
Oh my God, no complaints, man.
But you are going to do, you were telling me you're going to do an interesting thing maybe partway through this week and try and sample some local experience. And
oh yeah, I'm going to try to book with Rancho, the guys from Paolo, of course, the the leader, the CEO of Rancho do Peixe. I want to have a local, super local, steady, indigenous experience. And they have the ocas. They're small houses that just fit 1 or 2 people. I want to spend one night there just to tell the people here in the broadcasting experience, a raw Brazilian indigenous experience, to tell the guys here, to put some different knowledge for me, man. I want to experience everything. I want to like become a local here.
Yeah.
I'm a Brazilian. I'm not supposed to stay here and behave myself like a foreigner or a Holly. So I want to experience the whole experience here in Prea. Let me see if I have the strength to do that, because my condition is going so good in my posada. But I want to try to pull this one.
Okay, so next heat is on. Looks like Evan Netch.
Nice board control, man.
Yeah. Nice little toe side reverse. Setting his watch again. Up against Matt El Sasa. So these guys were in preceding heats from each other. Evan came up just before in round 2, and then Matt came up. 2 riders from the east coast of the US. They both work for Cabrina in sales. Both have very similar experience in terms of wave competition in the US. Both have joined our tour for odd events.
Cool.
From 2016 to 2017.
2 East Coasters?
Sorry?
2 East Coasters?
Yeah, 2 East Coasters. Yeah. Slight size difference between them, but both very, very capable. Really, really good wave riders, really strong. Both ride a lot of different equipment.
They got good sponsors on their back, man.
And both had really impressive round 2s. To say that they haven't been in a competition format like this for quite some time, I would say it's a year, particularly in the strapless freestyle. Clean starts for both of them, going big as well. Matt was going really big. I was impressed with the fact that he was doing front rolls and then doing front roll shove it as well.
What a clean trick this one, man.
Yeah. This is a tight one. 2 really good friends that travel together as well. And as I said before, Evan has probably done 4 GKA events now over the last 2.5 years, and has never finished lower than 5th.
Whoa.
So for a rider who is an intermittent competition rider who is just naturally gifted in all areas
solid
of the sport, to not finish outside the top 5, yeah, I mean, that's amazing.
And he worked as a rep for Cabrina also?
Yeah, on the East Coast, yeah, and Caribbean, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
It's always
it's cool when the guy have that 2 type of lives, because after he's like, when he retire from sporting, he gonna go in a different path.
Yeah. Studied in the US as well, and kind of at the time when he was studying, he was in a windy location. I can't remember exactly where he said it was now, but he managed to time his study program. So
how cool is that?
Everything was in the morning, and he had his afternoons free to go ride.
An intellectual kite surfer.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a really smart guy, and.
Whoa. Ooh.
Comes Evan Netch. Front roll into the shove it. Oh.
Whoa. Nice combo, man.
Yeah, it is a really it's one of the, I think it's one of the best looking tricks when it's landed really well.
I like the guy's style.
Yeah, the kite kind of stays still nicely at 45 with good power, but manage your way through the rotation and then execute a shove it at the end. It's got that really nice skate style about it.
Oh yeah, I like the combos,
power,
man.
It's good.
Wow. Any type of combo, suits me up. I love it. So technical.
But there's a bit of everything in a combo. Like some of them are big, high, and floaty, and kind of have a different personality. There's other ones that are really raw.
Yeah.
Like that one going up from Matt straight into a kite loop, managing the power as the kite cannonballs you through the air, and then trying to do the landing. And then some other ones that are a little bit more floaty.
Okay.
And then Evan there, you see him unhooking.
Yeah.
I mentioned before that he also comes from a wake style background. Has competed for many years on the Triple S, a core wake style competition. But his ability level knows no boundaries, so he's for sure capable of doing a flat 3, which in windier conditions is going to score highly. So obviously didn't land it.
And it's amazing to compare because they came from the same background, East Coasters. They have a friendship and a rivalry, but they have different stances, different styles, different postures on the board.
Yeah. For sure, they have the East Coast surf influence that they're implementing. But Evan has a little bit more experience on the wake style.
Okay.
So where we mentioned before, growing up on Cape Hatteras,
Okay.
which was the destination that I talked about in North Carolina.
Cool.
Strip of islands off the coast.
Oh yeah, I know
with
this.
the flat water on one side and amazing waves on the
Oh
other.
my God!
So if you're going to become a rounded kiteboarder,
It's
then
a place
that's
to be.
Yeah, I mean, you have the perfect flat water and you have amazing waves.
So we got right now we have Joe ready for another interview. So all with you, Joe.
Okay, I'm standing here with Mito Monteiro from Cape Verde. Congratulations, Mito. You just won against the local Rafael de Sosa. Looked like a super close heat. And yeah, how do you feel?
I'm so happy, like to be here and also to be in the water with this guy, because Rafa have a lot, really good potential, It's with the 8 and was a bit smaller. So yeah, I passed my heat, but it was not so easy, like with him. And then you see also the guy, like support. So yeah, a lot of stress. Me, like like to I'm feel at home. So thank you very much.
No, it definitely seems like Rafa was going insane as well. It's great to see the local Brazilians pushing so hard. Brazil has been known for top world riders in kite surfing, and it's great to see them pushing. And yeah, a guy like you, Mito, to say stuff about these guys. Maybe you can say a couple words in Portuguese for the Brazilian supporters watching the live streaming.
Thank you, Joey.
Sure. E aí, galera, só para dizer muito obrigado, pelo suporte que vocês estão dando e também surf. Yeah.
Muito obrigado, Mito. There's my Portuguese. Thank you, Mito.
Even though we have some audio issues there, double chacas for the man, the maestro. How much charisma this guy have, man?
Yeah, I think Mitu speaks like 3 or 4 languages actually, which puts an English guy to shame. But what strikes me about the top guys is that whoever's riding against them are so amped that it's like they're in a final. So as the top guys, they can't afford to go wrong because they got more to lose. The other guy has everything to win, and that's what we saw from Rafael. I mean, I didn't see him ride in Portugal. I missed that event, unfortunately. But by all accounts, he was riding really well, made an explosive start. But to see him in a heat here, and is the one who's responding to the crowd the most.
Oh yeah, he was using the crowd as a in his game. Amazing. That's what we call in Portuguese jogar para a torcida, cheering, pumping and amping the crowd.
It's going to be nice to see the scores pop up, hopefully, if we can, because obviously it's been an exciting heat, this one. 2 close friends, 2 compadres in business, I guess, as well, matching up against each other. We obviously had a great interview in the middle of that, so it'd be great to just get a little catch-up as we come in here. Watching Matt coming in from the outside, left foot forward, and we're just switching to Evan. Quite often on the way out, you're heading towards the ramp, so your percentage of going for a trick is, I guess, a little higher.
Yeah. Whoa.
Front roll shove it, Evan, yes.
Even the details, I love it. The power slide in the end of the trick.
Yeah,
just not to land it on the sand.
Yeah. But that's what impresses me about the guys who do every type of kiteboarding. You kind of see that they're bringing all elements and fusing them together, and it all, it's just so good to watch, to see a rider so accomplished in
everything
so
combined
many
is
areas.
amazing.
And when you see the little skills from one area helping in another area, as a sport, I believe that we should be really making the most of every facet that we have available.
For sure. Every athlete have a different DNA in his game.
Yeah.
And we can tell here, the guys that can hold like strong winds, the guy that have a wave surfing background, like Pedro Matos.
I mean, that one-footer there, coming out and doing a one-footer, was one of the original crowd-pleasing tricks from when the sport first started, and there was a world tour in like 2000. When riders were taking 1 foot out of the board, I mean, it was like, wow. And seeing it come back now in strapless freestyle, it's fun.
It's the foundation of the tricks.
It's a fun trick.
We're going to go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the action, so stick around.
Welcome back, guys. Here we are back at Prea on our first live stream for the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour. Round 6 of 7 of this World Championship, which will culminate in Australia next month. And we've had a slight change in the commentary booth. So Joe, our tour manager, who's doing the interviews outside, has come in and given Marcus a little break. He might be doing a couple of interviews in a minute. But how's the atmosphere outside?
Hey Jim, yeah, good to be here. The atmosphere outside is amazing. Especially the local Brazilians, they're shouting so hard and just making the riders go bigger and bigger. Especially, you had Rafael Del Costa there on one of the last heats, super close against one of our best all-round riders, which is Mito Monteiro. So really good to see these guys pushing it hard and local new talent, new generations coming forward.
You can see the fun coming through on the live stream. Like some of the guys, like Rafael's been riding like with a big smile on his face. He did like a surface pass as well, like a 3, and maybe we'll see a couple more unhook tricks coming on. But for me, the interview you did with Camille, and he said rise into the pressure, or whatever it was he said, responding to the pressure. I mean, he's riding the cleanest I've seen him ride ever on his home spot. I mean, he's barely putting a foot wrong. He's going big, technical, and with a lot of power.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like we said, positive pressure. We're going to have to get his local fans at every single event so he doesn't, get his feet wet. He's going big, he's going hard. And yeah, he is one of the youngest riders on the tour, been pushing all of the older guys, new moves, new heights. It's really good to see this new generation of strapless kite surfers coming forward.
Yeah, and the riders happy with the wind conditions. They all seem pretty happy that it's kind of 25 knots, good for strapless freestyle.
Yeah, all the guys love the strong wind, and it's really, this place Prea is known for it. So it's awesome to see it pushing and pushing. And it looks like it's starting to push up again. So yeah, we're starting on the heat with Mr. Ayrton Cosolino here. So let's see how Ayrton Airways goes.
Great time for you to come in and have a sit down and watch and enjoy this heat. It's something else. I mean, how was the atmosphere on the beach when he went out? I mean, this tour is about more than Ayrton, but particularly he set off riding at full power the whole time. Like we've been comparing Matthew, like how he always saves something for the later rounds. Like Ayrton, his first trick was a boogie loop.
I mean, Ayrton is go big or go home. I think it's probably his motto of life. I wouldn't be surprised if I see it tattooed on him one day. He just, balls to the wall and literally just goes huge. So, yeah, you can see first trick of the heat, just going, 5-6 meters in the air, landing clean. Yeah. That's what it's all about. And this is what the other riders are pushing to perform this way as well. So here we have Ayrton going big again, a nice little board off, landing as if it's nothing. I mean, how these guys pull it off, they make it look so easy, and it isn't. And that really shows the smooth, clean landings and how, they're just cool crusaders. And here we have...
Looks like he's up against Yaris, isn't he?
Yeah, he's against, that's Yaris. He's one of the younger Italian riders. Also, he's improved hugely over the last year, and you can see, especially on the confidence side, I just had a talk with him just outside. You can see going straight in, nice big back loop, board off, tic-tac, landing clean even with one leg. So, yeah, he's definitely going to give his Italian compadre a run for his money.
Yeah, it looks like he's got his timing really, really well. You can see some guys are the wind's almost perfect. But when the wind is kind of that strong, it ruffles up the water quite a lot. There's quite some difficult... Oh, I was just going to say, right when I said
difficult that, when you said it, there you go.
I've been doing a bit of commentator cursing so far. I did the opposite right there. So, yeah, I mean, Shifty 3 from Ayrton, we were kind of saying that, Rafael had done some unhooked tricks, and Ayrton was probably watching saying, okay, yeah. Here we go. Yeah,
he doesn't want the spotlight to get off of him. That is equally as good as some of the wake style riders. He doing it without straps. A nice shifty free, opening up the whole unhook freestyle into the strapless. Yeah, he was one of the first ones to do it, and he has other riders going hard as well. So it definitely shows the good conditions here in Brazil and how confident they are.
Yeah, he lands, and what I was sort of talking about was the difficulty perhaps in if you land on a piece of chop when you're strapless, and just when Ayrton landed one of the most technical tricks, coming down fast, unhooked, as if he had straps on, and that's the difficult thing to portray when you're watching Ayrton, is to just to try and understand that he doesn't have straps on.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to see the size of Ayrton's ankles. I wouldn't want to be the board underneath his feet. Yeah. He comes in Mach 10, lands super hard. You can hear it sometime. You wonder if he doesn't break something, and yeah, it just shows the control, the kite control. They know where he is every single moment of the trick, and yeah, that is why at the moment he is world champion.
Part cyborg.
So Yaris trying a nice little back loop, tic-tac on the back, not quite landing it, but you can, he's definitely up there giving Ayrton a run, and it's good to see these younger riders pushing these guys. Not, Ayrton is who he is, and like guys like me too, but it's good to see the younger generation pushing them and making them go bigger and better, and it just improves every single rider at each event.
Well, that's what's so impressive about the good guys. They're the good guys because they rarely make mistakes, and to not make a mistake in just 8 minutes of competition is really difficult, especially when every rider wants. The only thing they want to do is beat you because it's their chance to shine. A lot of these riders are turning up for their first competition. They're getting to ride against undoubtedly one of the innovators of the sport, one of the biggest names in kiteboarding at the minute, who just blows minds every time he hits the water. Like that.
Like that. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'd actually say it's extra pressure for the veterans as well, because, the young guys are hungry. It's the little grasshopper effect. Just there you go, Yaris, pulling off clean landing, nice back roll. Ayrton equaling it on the back as well. Nice little back roll grab to revert. They're pushing trick for trick, and it's great to see non-stop action on the water.
Yeah, so good that we got to hold round 7 here in Prea. So many kiteboarders have been coming here for so many years for the consistency of the wind. I mean, it's one of the meccas of the world, and what it's showing us here is just how good and smooth and progressive strapless freestyle can be in the dream conditions of 25 knots. 25 knots is that kind of great wind speed that allows almost every discipline of kiteboarding to shine. You can go big, you can go technical, you can choose a couple of different kite sizes to either get more height or...
He's trying, he's looking for it, that flat three.
I love it when he hits a kicker and keeps his kite low, and the control that he has over the board. And if you stood on the beach, you kind of hear it crack, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Like, once again, I would not want to be that board. And like you say, a place like Prea, 25 knots, warm water, great ambient on the beach, great caipirinhas. This is what kite surfing's about, and this is why Brazil is one of the mecca for kite surfing. There you go, Ayrton, a nice little tic-tac flip. He lets go of the board and almost lands on it as well.
Yeah,
I swear he must have magnets under his feet. It kind of reminds me of like back in the days of Aaron in freestyle. You'd see him, even when he was missing, it looked like he had everything under control. It just shows the level and the riding skill of these guys.
You've got a rich heritage in the sport as well. A pro rider yourself at Air Rush as well back in the day.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, but did you compete much against Aaron?
Yeah, I had a few heats. Obviously, I lost every single one of them, but still a good friend, and I enjoyed it. I mean, like I say, for the people coming up, going up against one of the best riders in the tour, there is no pressure. It's balls to the wall. Go for everything as big as possible, how you can do, and that's the only way to get past these guys. So. I always took it as a heat to have fun in, and what will be will be.
Yeah, no doubt how Yaris is approaching this one, but it's interesting to hear him before that he landed a back roll tic-tac for the first time in competition, and I guess that's what competition does for you. It gives you that extra 10%.
Absolutely. I mean, it's that extra risk factor, that extra adrenaline, especially like going up against a guy like Ayrton and Compadre from Italy. You just saw him like landing a nice little board barrier, a nice little tic-tac. He's just racking tricks up, competing really well, and the progression Yaris has had over the past year, we're definitely going to see big things from him. And yeah, it's great to see that maximum new generation pushing these guys further and further.
Exactly, yeah. Just confirmation there of the current standings as we stand after 5 rounds of the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour. This is round 6 of 7 in the 2018 championship. Ayrton Cuzzolino sitting at the top of the leaderboard. He's our 27 reigning champion and looks pretty set to take home another one at the end of the season this year.
Absolutely. There you go, trying a front shove it. Ayrton, again, is known for his power and speed. And yeah, like you saying on the standing, you see Matthew there. The Cape Verdeans, they are forced to be reckoned with, and me too as well. It's kind of where the strapless started, and yeah, definitely the run for the title is going to be a tough one this year. And ending up in Australia, Brazil is the first time we've had the event, and Oz is going to be the new event as well. There you go, Ayrton again. And yeah, we're just going to see action after action.
Yeah. We haven't seen as many front roll shove-its landed at this event. The percentage at certain spots seems to go quite high for that trick, and it's definitely one of my favourite looking tricks, but for everything to come together to be able to land it is there's a lot that goes in there, isn't there, to come together. You need to get the landing absolutely perfect because they're coming down fast and at speed and trying to catch the board with their feet. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, we were look. I think probably one of the cleanest ones that's been landed in this competition was from Matt Alsasser from the US.
Yeah.
You know, it's a super technical trick. In the end, they're doing a front roll and spinning the board under their feet, so they have to make sure that there's not a chop, so they can land it smooth, like you say. And yeah, there's a little bit of a chop out there. The wind's dropping off a little bit, but yeah, I'm sure now that the heats are going forward, we're going to see, and like you can see on the replay, these guys, they just make it look easy. And handle passes, back rolls, front rolls, tic-tacs. It's the level how strapless has progressed over the last few years is mind-blowing, and it's just each event we're going to see one after another. And there's the big kite loop rodeo from Mr. Ayrton. He just look smooth landing as if you're just coming in for an attack. It's insane.
Kiteboarding's had so many different journeys over the last 15 years. Professional kiteboarding has been down so many different pathways, but strapless freestyle is kind of in that golden day at the minute where riders are making progression really quickly. They're joining the dots between different tricks and putting them together and bringing them to each competition, and it's a really exciting time to be a part of it. Joe, you're also tour manager for the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour. You obviously have a lot of competition history yourself. What is it that you... We'll come back to that question in a minute, but we're just going to jump to a commercial break and we'll see you again in a few minutes.
Evan has my watch.
Welcome back, guys, to Prea Beach in front of Rancho de Pech, our hosts for the week, as we just enjoyed there at the end, just before we went to the break, the highlights of Ayrton Cozzolino's heat against Yaris Delomo from Italy. Great to finally be able to get riders like Ayrton Cozzolino on a live stream. I know they've been super keen to be able to show what they can do in their consistency, and it looks like now we have another insane rider, Kiahi de Boitas, heading out on the water. So as we approach this latter half of the single elimination, the current riders who are still left in this particular ladder are all winners. They haven't lost a heat yet. That's why they're still in the competition. And up next, two Australians, two guys who are very much looking forward to next event coming to their homeland, but right now they've got to beat each other in Brazil. James Carew, probably the most improved rider on the tour for me at the moment, up against Kiahi de Boitas, a guy who can just turn it on in a moment's notice. We say he's fresh off a plane from one of the most critical waves in the world and switching into a strapless freestyle competition. So he's been definitely impressive so far. Joe, these two guys, you know them well. Their approaches, they're kind of at opposite ends of their careers as well. Yeah, how do you see this one going?
It's great to see the boys from Down Under both at the heats. I think you're going to see smiles on each other's faces. James Carew, he's, like you say, one of the youngest and most impressive riders coming through. 2 years ago, this guy couldn't even do a front roll. Comes from a surfing background, and now you see him fill in, some of the biggest moves, and is one of the guys to beat. And then you have the smooth cruiser, Kiahi de Boitas, who can go from anything from 10-foot balancing waves to flat freestyle. That just shows how much of a veteran and a complete rider that he is. And straight off the bat, here we have them in the heat.
The Carew family are going to be cheering pretty hard at this one, aren't they? Just tell us about that trick that he's landed for the first time at this event.
That's insane. Yeah, James is actually one of the only riders that does that trick. It's a toe side 5 with a revert. So basically, he is spinning 540 and landing backwards and then reverting the board. You can see his surfing background with those toe side airs, and there he just goes huge. Like we say, he's one of the guys who's giving Ayrton a run on height. Coming off of Fuerteventura, he was the guy that won the big air and impressed all of us with his height and his power. So a force to be reckoned with. And then Kiahi de Boitas coming in here, you can just see him looking for that chop, setting it up to get that smooth landing.
For me, what James is bringing in is innovations as well. Kiahi, yes, we haven't seen many front roll shove-its. We saw him try 4 in the last heat. Uncharacteristically, you never see Kiahi try something 4 times and not land it, nailing it first time this time. It's going to be a high score on the judges' sheet, that one, isn't it?
Absolutely, especially in these conditions. You know, it's a little choppy, and you can just see, especially the flow of the move. You know, there's not a front roll and then a stop in the board where it is all continuous as if it's 2 rotations. So there you go, big kite loop on the outside for James, landing nice and clean. That's going to score high with the judges. So yeah, both riders bringing it, and it's definitely going to be a good heat.
Any idea what kite size James is riding at the minute?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he's on a 9-meter kite. So yeah, looking for the speed and the power, the combination. The wind looks like it's filling in a little bit more. So yeah, we're definitely going to see some high looping and spinning moves.
So riders generally on 8s or 9s at the minute?
Yep, 8s or 9s. I think Ayrton might be on a 10, knowing him. And they always like the kite size. And there you go. That is his back roll shove it, a signature move.
Put him on the podium in the last event in the specialist conditions that we had. Kiahi just missing out there. But what's impressing me about James is he isn't bringing any slight variation on a trick, like a little bit of a spin here or there. He's actually managing to find a whole new avenue of power and consistency.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and there it is right there. That is his signature toe side 5 shove it. Yeah, this guy, he's bringing new moves to the table, and he's making a name for himself. It's really good to see riders with their own identity, giving their personal touch to the moves, and like you say, really converting them into individual style, flow, and power.
Yeah, it's always the late teenagers who kind of find their feet and really make an impact in the sport and have an influence over the direction, isn't it? Kiahi for sure has done it in wave riding, and James at 19. Obviously his heart's in wave riding, but you yourself will know when you have the opportunity to become a professional rider at like 18, 19, and you find that you're really taking hold and you're really making a difference, that must be a huge motivation.
Absolutely. I mean, in the end, it's about being the most complete rider out there. That's what the tour is all about. So, to be that person that can, hack a wave into no tomorrow and also go out on super strong winds, loop it, freestyle moves, and it's great to see the young generation have that in their mind. They want to be a complete rider, so they don't specialize just in one thing, and I think that's one of the things we can be really proud of with this tour, is that the riders are improving thanks to the different locations and spots. And guys like Kiahi is just a smooth cruiser. James again, I wouldn't want to be that bored. Like I say, Kiahi, he is amazing at everything. You stick him in a barrel, you stick him on flat water, and I think, like you say, different ends of their career. So James is hungry, and Kiahi is there to not let the youngsters get it too easy.
And just little things like that, upwind carve, it's just beautiful to watch. But it's a pleasure for both of us to be able to be involved in the tour and be part of the Global Kite Sports Association, who are now running 2 world tours, and the overall kind of impetus for both of them is to be able to open up the sport to find the most complete rider. So we're looking for the most complete twin tip rider in the Kiteboarding World Tour Air Games, and we're looking for the most complete surfboard rider. And when you see these guys combining these strapless freestyle maneuvers into waves, whether they're big or small waves, it just makes sense. It's the harmony of all the equipment coming together with riders who are young enough to have the vision to see where a sport's heading and spend a couple of years really, really following that. Great to have a sustainable world tour now. We're looking forward to an incredible 2020, the lineup of events that we have. But Prea is delivering, no doubt. This is only the first day of competition, and already the live stream's been firing, and the riders are really, really stepping up for the performance.
Yeah, absolutely, and there you go, stepping it up right now. For sure, it's amazing to be part of this tour. Coming from a professional background and seeing the guys. It's good that we know how they feel, and we know what they're going through, and we try to make them not make the mistakes that we did back in the day. And I think we can, like you say, we can be proud of what we achieved, and the charisma, how these guys react to the media, how they are on the beach. They are ambassadors of our sport, which is in the end is what the sport needs, and is what the brands and the spectators need, is that interaction with the rider person, that they are, that the future kids can see these guys as their heroes and want to be like them and push them and create more and more kite surfers and kiteboarders, no matter if it's a twin tip or a surfboard. There you go, James, just going huge again. They make it look so easy, and it's amazing to see on the water.
He's really developed a great comfort in the air. Like he's become so strong over the last year, but his comfort and orientation in the air, like, you know, he goes higher than anyone else, arguably riding a slightly bigger kite perhaps, but his percentage of success rate of coming down from height and carrying out a landing is why he's found himself suddenly in the top 5 really regularly.
Absolutely, like there you go. That is his shifty. Whoa, trying with the flip. Yeah, the percentage of going high, spinning and actually landing is amazing. How these guys pull it off.
Yeah.
It looks so easy, and it isn't.
Yeah.
And that what defines how good they are. And it's good to see this new section of the sport going hard. And it's like back in the day, you used to watch Kevin, you watch Nick in the King of the Air, or Aaron or Lewis. They just go huge. You think they're not going to pull it off, and then suddenly somehow they land as smooth as a cat. So it just shows the level and control these guys have.
Yeah. Interesting having Marcus alongside us in the commentary for this event as well. Marcus is new to kiteboarding, but not new to board sports at all. He was on the qualifying series for the surfing, was a national Brazilian surfer as well in the early 90s, and has been a California skater as well, really involved in all that scene and all the big name skaters. But seeing where his reaction comes on the live stream when there's a 1-footer or something else, seeing him like, wow, when you're so involved in the sport and you kind of, embedded in it, I think that's what this tour is doing, is giving the opportunity for the crowd, the guy who's seeing kiteboarding for the first time, to make their own decision of what they like and what they want to see more of.
Absolutely, it's all about putting the show on for the crowd, and it's great to have fresh eyes and guys like Marcos, come from different disciplines. In the end, all of us are in this for the adrenaline, for the sport, for the passion, and what the guys on the beach, they want to see a show, so it needs to be stuff that they can understand, not super technical, but just how these guys pull the stuff together and give you that, like, as if they're dancing. I think that's what is making this section of the sport so popular.
So you said that he was going to be all smiles, but I can guarantee that internally it was anything but. This is personal kudos on the line.
Definitely.
It's bragging rights in Australia.
I reckon there must be beers on that heat. So,
yeah,
the two Aussies. So yeah, it's great to see, and we'll be back in a second, guys. We're just going to come with a commercial break.
Prea Beach, right in front of Rancho de Peixe, our amazing hosts for the week, kite school and hotel right here in the Ceará State in northern Brazil. And we are approaching the final round of round 3. We're in a knockout stage of the competition, and this is a single elimination format. So over the week, the competition concludes on Saturday, and by which time we will have hopefully run through a double elimination format. So all riders get 2 chances. At the end of a single elimination format, we will have a winner. The winner from that single elimination is going to advance straight to the final of the double elimination. And whoever makes their way back up to meet them in the final is going to have to beat them twice to claim the event win here. So the double elimination is a format that we run in strong wind locations where we have a good length of time for the competition. It allows the riders a lot of opportunity, and it gives everyone a second chance, and it's kind of probably the most fair format in an ideal world for this competition, isn't it?
Absolutely, it gives the guys, a second chance to, if they didn't have the heat of their lives, so they couldn't get through. It gives them a second chance to go out and continue the competition. And I mean, in an amazing place like this, like Prea, I mean, look at that drone shot. White sands, perfect water, nice palm trees, and a place like Rancho de Peixe. where the accommodation is amazing, and they just make us feel at home. And you can see the people on the beach. This is what we want. This is how it is. And yeah, coming up now, you have a local French boy, Camille Delanois, going up against number 2 seed Mathieu Lopez. So, Mathieu is running second now in the overall ranking. I talked to him a bit before. He has a little problem with his shoulder. He's been having some pain over the last week, so let's see how that holds up. And he's going to have to pull out all of the weapons against Camille, who is firing. He has the local crowd behind him. I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing some local people run into the beach to watch this heat. So yeah, this is going to be definitely a very impressive performance from both of them.
But equally, Mathieu kind of carries his own army wherever he goes, doesn't he? I mean, he's one of the most popular riders because he's so approachable, so warm, such a fun guy. So I would imagine the support's probably pretty even. There's never a place where Mathieu doesn't have much support, so we'll see. But interesting that he was saying, that his shoulder is feeling a bit of ache, and obviously the logistics in strapless freestyle are that you have to take one hand off the bar a lot, and that leaves one hand on the bar to do a lot of work.
Absolutely.
You're counteracting only having one hand on the bar.
Yeah, for sure. You have to. These guys are top athletes. They have to be in A shape, and there you go. Camille, starting the heat off with a nice back roll. There you go, Mathieu just responding, going higher. You can see Camille looking at him straight up. This is war. This is going to be a good heat.
This heat is on. Two riders who are regulars. Mathieu Lopez, 2016 world champion, finished runner-up last year, is the runner-up on the current standings. Camille Delanois is in 5th this year, but is a real up-and-comer and improving as we go with each round, and is riding at home. With home support, in his home conditions, he's completely comfortable. He hasn't expended much energy so far in the competition because he's barely crashed and has landed some big tricks like that one there. Still just 18, actually 19, I believe, but riding on his absolute A game, which he's going to have to do to beat Mathieu Lopez.
Absolutely, going up against the 2nd seed, he's going to have to bring it. He's got all of the crowd behind him, his local scene. As you can see, the view from our judging tower there, but Mathieu's hungry. It doesn't seem like that shoulder is worrying him too much. He knows what he's up against, and I think both these riders have competed against each other a lot. And you can see there we have the main organizer Paolo watching the boys on the water. Look at Camille's concentration on that face. There's hunger there. You can see the fire in his eye. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot that has to come together to put on an event like this, but primarily as well, it has to be the vision of that man in the middle there, who is the local event organizer. Thanks to all our local organizers who see the vision of bringing the tour to their spot. We have 7 of them this year. He's one of them this year. And he must be pleased looking out there, seeing his home spot represented so well with 2 of the current best riders in this discipline in the sport at the minute. Camille Delanois, a real up-and-comer from France, just 19 years old, up against 2016 world champion Mathieu Lopez.
Yeah, it must be a pleasure to be an event organizer of a place like this, to be watching the best of the best out on the water, battling it out against Mother Nature, as Mr. Cristiano would say back in the days. And there you go with a triple back roll from Mathieu, taking it to the crowd. You can see they're hungry, they want it, and the charisma of these guys, how they engage with the crowd, is what makes this sport worth watching and amazing to be part of.
Absolutely, they hold nothing back, they leave nothing on the water, and they give the crowd everything. So great to see. Mathieu always so flamboyant, and we've seen him go for a couple of those back rolls earlier. Just not quite making the double, but that time making the triple. So as we've said about him, as we go along, he always saves something and builds his heats as we go along. So absolutely sticking to that formula at the moment. Camille will have seen that. He's had a relatively easy route so far, but only because he's been riding so well. So he's been against tough competitors, but he's pretty much blown them out of the water so far. You can't blow Mathieu Lopez out of the water.
Not at all. I mean, you can just see Mathieu there doing a dream. That's a back roll, no hands on the bar, spin with the board. And yeah, like you say, Mathieu, he's famous for pushing it and leave it to the end. He took the Portugal leg, landing a triple front roll, in the last seconds of the heat. So it isn't over until it's over.
And the depth of tricks that these guys have, from the moment that they take off, anything can happen. That's what makes it so good to watch. It's kind of going back to the roots of the sport, back to when the sport was developing really quickly, and the equipment kind of perfectly matches the development of the riders at the same time. As we see Mathieu in the background, double front roll.
Nice double.
A move that you know, was landed for the first time kind of last year in competition, and that's how quickly we're progressing. So only 12 months ago, that was kind of the new move, and then he landed a triple this year. So yeah.
What's next?
We're moving
is the big question. What will
quickly.
be next?
Yeah.
These guys, the progression they have year to year, especially, you know, we've just come off of a 2-month break before this event, so I'm sure we're going to see new things coming. All of the guys have a few tricks up their sleeves. There's Camille with nice style. You know, there's ways of doing a back roll kite loop, but you know, put in that extra little thing, that extra little style, just looking over his shoulder there, making sure that what Matthew is doing. You can see these guys looking eye to eye, and it's definitely going to be a close heat because they're just going pound for pound.
Absolutely. It's the slight differences that may make the difference here, but these two riders come from opposite approaches. Matthew, again, landing a very, very technical trick. Not perhaps the biggest or the fastest or the most powerful, but it's technical and it's on the board, and he's done it right foot forward. Everyone else is kind of doing it left foot forward. There is a little bit of difference there. The judges are looking for that to try and split the two riders. And it will probably go towards his 8 biggest scoring tricks as well, for sure. The judges are going to take their top 8 scores from different trick families and tally those up, and the highest score wins.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the important things of riding competition, free riding is one thing, and then riding in a competition, it's all about hitting all of those families, so you have the variation, the power, the style, all those little details, especially with heats like this where both riders are killing it. It's those little details that makes the difference and stacks up those decimals that in the end make the difference in the heat. You know, tweaking that grab a little bit more, putting that little style in, you know, it's what it's all about. And these guys, you know, it's so nice to see how they make the small things look so good, and then when you see them going for the big tricks.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk a little bit more about the judging criteria in a moment, but we're going to pop outside and see who Marcus has got in an interview for us on the beach.
Thank JJ, Joe, and Jimmy. I'm here with Aussie Affair. After the Aussie Affair, James Carew was the winner. So how Brazil is switching so far, James?
Okay, looks like we have a small audio problem there. We'll get James up in a few seconds, so we'll just continue here with the heat. These guys are running super close. Camille, like we say, local boy. He's rides here, trains here, knows the spots, has the support. You can see him setting up here for something, looking for that little sweet spot to just go high. Yeah, crossing eyes there. Okay, 1, 2, holds it, Rodale. There you go. And Matthew responding. These guys, I mean, there you go. You have the double front roll Rodale from Camille and a back roll Rodale kite loop from Matthew. They're holding nothing back, and it's great to see this energy in between them.
We really do have those magic conditions at the minute where 25 knots gives the riders the ability and the ambition to go for it, to feel like it's totally manageable. They're not too much on the edge, but yet there is enough risk factor there, and but the consistency is there. And you know, we heard James saying that he's probably riding in the most consistent wind conditions he's ever been in.
Almost.
And it's consistent wind conditions that are allowing riders to try and push the envelope and go for triples like that. But we have 5 judges, and what they are looking for to separate the riders on the water is they're looking for technical difficulty, height and amplitude. So height as well as the distance that you travel. They're looking for power. So you get power from where the kite is in the wind window, whether your lines are quite low or high. You'll see Matchy there going for a kite loop, and you see how he got pulled through the sky like a cannonball. Injecting some power there, unfortunately not landing it. And the 4th and final one is risk factor. So yeah, there's a nice little
I think Camille might have sealed the deal on the last minute. That is going to be a very close hit. 1.
He didn't land a triple, did he?
2, 3. I'm pretty sure that is a triple. Maybe we can see the replay one more time.
He wouldn't be claiming
He
a
wouldn't
double
be
like
claiming a double. I betting it's a triple.
Beating Macho at his own game.
Oh, he literally just exactly the same, you know, giving him some of his own medicine. Machu closed Portugal out with that exact same move. Here you can see him coming to the beach, smile from ear to ear. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Jim, and say I reckon that was a triple. He would not be celebrating a double like that.
No way. No way. We saw him close just before that as well. The percentages are small. You've got to get your takeoff right. You've got to have enough time in the air and then just have that board stick with you and stick your landing. Yeah, so I believe that's only the second time in competition that trick has ever been landed. First time was in Portugal by Machu. Now it looks like Camille has landed it. But let's take a break and we will be outside with Marcus, who I believe is going to be with James again. Let's try again.
Yeah, guys, thank you. Now with Function here. Oh my God, a full Aussie affair. How was it, James Cameron?
The wind's still p***ing and there's people everywhere. Watching Kite throw down, I was just super psyched, doing my best and came out with the win.
How is the emotion to clash against your fellow countryman?
Oh, I've gone against the guy. He's pretty much beat me every. Feels really good to beat him. But yeah, shame to knock him out. Only other Aussie, but can't.
I know all the Aussie guys dig on rock and roll, heavy metal. What is the soundtrack to pump you up for kite surfing?
Yeah, I was listening to a little bit of rock just before, psyching me up, go big.
Which band?
Calio.
Cool, man. So back to you guys. Aussie affair with the Aussie winner, of course. Back to you guys, JJ.
Thank you, Marco. Congratulations, James. You can see the stoke in his eyes.
Great having Marcus, helping us out at this event as well, bringing a completely different flavour, Brazilian, interested in food and obviously music as well. So great to hear what is psyching James up for such intense performances. But it's all about Camille Delanoy, I think, in this heat. Machi Lopez was landing pretty good tricks. I wouldn't say he had the height of Camille in any of his tricks, but was making it hard for Camille because he was registering scores on the technical tricks. But if Camille's landed that triple front, I would say that's probably enough to...
Yeah, I mean it's close. It's definitely going to be a close call, but yeah, like we say, going out on a limb. Camille was going a little bit higher, had a little bit more speed. Machu is Mr. Technical and Mr. Smooth, but I think
can't discount landing
a front shove it like this. Camille seemed to have a little bit more risk. And you know, little bit more technical ability on the height, so it's going to be a close one. But yeah, let's see. I mean, both riders very similar. It's going to be definitely a close one for this result. Let's see how it comes.
Looked like Camille was perfectly powered almost in every trick. Just the right balance. So it'll be interesting to find out a little bit more about that. But
yeah, I mean, he is. This is his home spot. I think if he's in the water now, he can probably see the window from his bedroom. So if anybody knows the spot, it's going to be him. He knows the kickers, knows the right place, and knows what this can do. And there you go, like showing us off like this. 1, 2. So this is the triple free, as smooth as doing a little pop. So this is why Camille is one of the best rookies coming through the tour, and you know, that is the second time it's been landing this event. I was talking to yesterday. He was saying, you know, I've been landing this trick quite consistently here, so I bet he is over the moon to stick it in a heat, especially against a guy like Machu.
Joe, we're only on day one, and we've already seen things landed for the only the second time. Primo mangiare dopo filosofare. First time ever in a competition. Yeah, as you say, it's only day one. We've got 3 more days to go, and the competition is only going to get more intense, and the level is only going to go up more. Obviously, Camille rides here a lot. Some of the other top performing riders are still only within their first couple of days of being here, finding their feet. They're still in the competition, so loads more to look forward to. But what's impressed me about Camille is, obviously, having watched him for the last 2 years, he has no problem going high. He has no problem finding power. It was that consistency. And he's obviously found that, and he's managed to join the dots of loads of different tricks together. So yeah, really excited to see him. He's advanced to the semi-finals, and right now we're going to take a break to take a breather, but we'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Foi sumido. O sabor original de Sprite voltou.
Kite-Surf World Tour event in Prea, Here we can see with the AP flag is up, and the poleman is one of the youngest riders, Kiko Roet, from Spain. I can see our crew is using the youngsters to prove their ground in pole handling. So yeah, it's good to see the youngsters helping out. This is what how good this tour is. You have the riders; they help each other out. There we have Ayrton.
Looks like Ayrton's going to have his go.
He's either going to help Kiko out, or he's going to do something to him. So I don't know who I got my money on, but it's good to see how it's one big family. It's all of us make this event come together, and it's great to see how guys like Ayrton coming up to approaching all of the younger riders and pushing them to feel part of this big family that we have.
He loves competition, and he doesn't want to. He absolutely just loves competition. He wants a challenge, and he wants to be challenged, and he rises to it. So he doesn't just want to be up there on his own. So, but for sure, but what we can see from that flag, there is no shortage of wind. So
No.
we are coming up to 4:30 in the afternoon here in Brazil, and sunset is around 6 o'clock. So we're coming up to the last hour or so of competition. But yeah, the wind seems to keep pushing in.
Definitely. I mean, you can see that flag is going to be in pieces by the end of the day, by the looks of it. Yeah, they have the wind on tap over here. It's amazing, like you say, that perfect 25 knot average where the guys can go big. It's still not absolutely nuking, and they can show the full potential of what they can do in this sport. And it's amazing to see the progression day after day, week after week. These guys are pushing it on the water, trying to reach new heights, and it's a spectacle to see, and they are a force to be reckoned with.
But we've already seen what competition does to a rider's level, and for sure when these riders get together as a group, they progress together. So yeah, they progress together, and for sure over the next 3 days with a very similar forecast, we're going to see more and more. Was that a confirmation
That was it.
of Camille?
That was the confirmation. Camille Delanois, the local French boy here from Prea, has just kicked out number 2 seed Matthew Lopez, so one of the first big upsets of the competition. Camille he's pushing hard to get on that podium and be on that overall podium at the end of the year. So really good riding. I reckon probably that triple, he gave Matthew some of his own medicine, and I'm sure Matthew is happy for Camille, and we wish him a nice rest and recovery, and I bet he will come back strong in the doubles.
Of course, because that's not the end of Matthew Lopez.
No.
Double elimination format, so we will complete a double elimination, we will have a winner, and then all the riders come back into the competition for the double elimination, and they start in reverse order from where they finished and have to battle their way up to eventually meet the winner of the single elimination in the final. So no doubt that Matthew Lopez is going to have a fair few rounds to go through if he is going to make it to the final, but if anyone can, he can. So we wish his shoulder a good rest. No doubt he'll be going to enjoy some food in Rancho de Peixe right now, and hopefully enjoying the rest of this live stream.
For sure. I mean, that's the beauty of the single and double elimination format. The riders, no matter where they fall out, they have another chance to prove themselves and go back. I remember back in the day in Brazil with Aaron, I think he got kicked out in round 1, and he rode 14 consecutive heats all the way to end up number 2 in the competition. So it can be done, and I wouldn't put it away from Matthew Lopez. This guy is a smooth cruiser and a force to be reckoned with, so I definitely have some money on Matthew going further up the table in the double elimination.
The best of the best always rise to the occasion, don't they? I mean,
Always.
Aaron always used to say that one of the toughest places for him to go to was Cabarete, because every heat against Aaron was like a final for those guys. Aaron was like the poster boy for freestyle. He was innovating, he was charging, and he was changing the sport. But right there was a nucleus of riders in Cabarete that were kind of doing the same, but riding as hard as possible, but just for their own enjoyment. And when Aaron turned up, he said it was kind of like, I like Cabarete, but it's so hard because he's under so much pressure.
You could just see. I mean, I remember youngsters like Ariel Corniel. I think he was the first Dominican to win the Cabarete event, and back in the day you'd see Aaron go out and he would be followed by 5 or 6 Dominicans, just watching every move and to see what is new and how it is. And that's why like you say, the great riders rise to the occasion. I mean, Aaron 5 times world champion, was the dominator for twin tip freestyle for so many years and put so much into the sport and still is putting into the sport every day. So it's great to see that kind of format here as well.
But it's hard to understand the level of consistency that the good riders at the top manage to achieve, you know. To not put a foot wrong in so many heats back to back and not falter under pressure and always stay at the top is, I mean, it's something that as a non-competitor is hard to appreciate, I guess.
I mean, they say it is to rise to the top is hard, but to stay at the top, that is the real challenge. I mean, on screen we have a perfect example, Mito Monteiro. All of us know him. I think every single generation of kiting has had the pleasure to see this guy. He is probably like the Robbie Nash of our sport. He always has a smile, interviews for everybody, ambassador for the sport and for this discipline. He is the godfather of strapless, and they're going up against one of the newcomers, Gustavo Rojo. Great to see guys like this, and it's so nice to have these kind of ambassadors in our sport rooting for us and showing us how it should be done.
Exactly, and pretty much a decade between them in terms of age. Mitu is 35, Gustavo 26, so yeah, very much at the opposite ends. But Mitu just doesn't look like he's slowing down. I mean, I was in Cape Verde earlier this year and was just amazed at how long he spends on the water.
I mean, it's pure passion, and yeah, I mean, he would never admit that he's 10 years older than Gustavo, but I mean, yeah, this guy just brings it every time, and he's kind of like a kiaki. You know, you can put him in barrier and waves, you can put him on flat water. He pours it all out. He is one of the most complete riders out there, and it's great to see him pushing forward here in the quarterfinals.
But Gustavo, you know a lot about Gustavo. He is from Tarifa.
He is, local boy.
Really impressive in the last round. Looked like he was linking a lot of different combinations together and really comfortable in the wind. And the difference that he was finding was his percentage of landing was really, really high.
Yeah, I mean, Gustavo, Tarifa is Tarifa. It's, very strong winds, gusty. But, we ride there every day. And Gustavo is known for his big air abilities, Fuerteventura is always a top contender for those big air conditions, and talking to him before in the interview, and he is stoked, and he sees the possibility, he sees the future here, because going past his friend Gianmarco Rivera, these guys are always battling it out, and he can see now he's got Mitu, he's amped, he's pumped, and yeah, he's definitely going to try and push Mitu as far as possible.
And just a little bit more background on Gustavo. I saw him when we were in Tarifa there, and he was running mountain bike guiding tours as well.
Yeah, e-bike Tarifa. He has a really nice company, shows all the routes. If you guys are ever in Tarifa, make sure you look him up. He will take you up and around. And I mean, thank God these bikes have bicycles, because you're out there for hours and hours, and the e-bike fever is out there. So double jobs and pulling it off on the water and out.
And Tarifa, kind of the action sport capital of Europe, I guess there's, in the rare occasion that there might not be wind, there's so much to do there. So yeah, I guess he keeps himself fit and looks like he's very, very comfortable in the conditions here as well. You regularly get 25 knots in Tarifa as well, so...
yeah, we definitely do. It's I think Tarifa is one of the most consistent windy places, probably not the most constant wind, but I've lived there all my life, and 3 or 4 times a week you're in the water, and it's definitely for one of the European meccas of kite, and actually the birthplace for our tour, the strapless event in Tarifa was the first strapless event we had, and it's a pleasure to be part of it, and yeah, coming from my hometown, always rooting for it.
Yeah, we talked about that before, how Jaime, very much involved in the tour, instigated the first strapless contest, the Tarifa Strapless Pro, and then from that, World Tour was kind of born the year after. But Tarifa, there's been a number of World champions come from Tarifa. It's like a hotbed of talent. But I guess the thing is, if you can ride there really well, you can kind of ride anywhere, because you get everything, and it's not always perfect water conditions. You have a great lifestyle and everything else, and I always love to go there on a holiday because the food's as good as the riding, but you get a lot of time on the water, a lot of days a week, but it tests you in not perfect conditions, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, you can go from anything from a 7 meter to a 14. It's gusty, it's constant. Like you say, we've had so many champions come out of there, and so many world champions. Gisela, Alex, Yuri was always there. so many different people, like guys like Jaime. It's a place where, you know, some of the talent comes out, and we're lucky enough to have great conditions with riders there all year. Like you say, the lifestyle, the food. Obviously, it's my hometown, so I try and be as impartial as possible. But it's definitely a nice place to go and train and spend some time.
But after a short break in the competition, we are now moving into Heat 22A. Gustavo Arroyo against Mateo Montero, starting the heat well.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, Me Too's hungry. It doesn't matter. There you go. Gustavo, back roll, tic-tac, landing it smooth. Just before that, Me Too did a nice back roll over there. Trick for trick, eye for eye. These guys, you know, they want it. This is where it's all about. Both of them know these conditions well. Me Too, he spends a lot of time here in Brazil. He's part of the Rancho de Peixe team. So you can see a smile on his face. He's got a lot of support. That's what we're talking about, the difference of style. You know, those little details. That's a simple move, a nice little pop to revert. Just tweaks it out and makes it nice and easy, clean landings. You can see again, they're going to cross. Gustavo just shiveling himself, getting himself ready, looking for that chop. Little eye connection there, saying hi, how you doing?
Let's do this.
There you go. Me Too out on the back. Gustavo, nice kite loop rodeo, smooth. There you go. This is going to be a close heat. You can see both of these riders want it, and it's great to see. Like you say, Me Too, I never said this, but the 10-year difference, they can, you know, it's amazing to see how Me Too does not give away. He is probably the Kelly Slater of our sport.
But right now, what's great about strapless freestyle is it's not too young generation specific.
Absolutely.
So experience is counting for a lot. Like in waves, a lot of the really good guys have built up years of experience of reading a wave, understanding the technicality of a turn. Perhaps that's where this differs from the pure wake style power and kind of. Well, you understand wake style very intently. So you know, but what we have here is riders with 10 years apart and very equally matched, because experience is counting for a lot.
Yeah, experience, style, you know, they're things that come with time. It's, you know, like they say about a good wine, the older the bottle, the better it is. You know, and you can see the how Me Too, he's been there, he's done it, he's got the T-shirt, he knows exactly how to pull it out, where to push, how to make that little extra difference. One of the things that, for example, in the event we had in Dakla, Me Too would always say, I always look at my competitor to know what they're doing. You can see he'll finish a trick and he'll be looking over his shoulder to make sure he knows exactly where Gustavo is, exactly what he's doing, and he will give his best go to do that much to get past him in this heat. And so far, Me Too is firing, Gustavo is equaling to him, so yeah, great to see.
Yeah, riding wisely, I guess,
Absolutely,
isn't he?
yeah.
Doing the maths, working it out. Gustavo, obviously, with much less experience and competition experience, but there's a lot to be said for riding on a high, and that's exactly what Gustavo's doing at the minute. Arguably having the best heats that I've seen him ride in GKA Kite-Surf competition. And
answering you right there, Jim, yeah, definitely some of the best loops he's doing in competition. There's the smile, there's the joy. He's happy, you know. Sunny, 25 knots. Friends on the beach, he's loving Brazil, and it's great to see.
And thankfully I seem to have broken my commentator curse that I was having earlier on this live stream. It seemed like every time I was complimenting someone, they were having the biggest crashes ever. So yeah, glad to have got that behind me. So come on, Gustavo.
There's Me Too with the tic-tac, landing it, little butt check. It's actually amazing how some of these guys, you can see that's the experience. They come in on their back, somehow like a cat, put their arm out, pull up and continue away. You know, it's like the difference in experience, and you can see Me Too setting up here for something, looking for that chop, going toe side, body toe side air free. Let's see, he's looking for that little position.
What I like about Mitu is the little differences that he puts in. So when he does a front roll, halfway through he switches his feet, and it's a little thing like that. It looks stylish, it's good, shows immense technicality, and just always lands it so cleanly.
Yeah.
But there aren't any other riders, I don't think, who do that switch halfway through.
No, that's Me Too. I mean, in the end, like you say, it's that little difference, little details, own personal style, and also, you know, a heat has minutes. So being able to do that front row and always already have your feet positioned so you can tack right out of the move, you know, gaining those seconds, just like we saw Camille, the last 5 seconds of the heat, pulls off that triple and wins the heat. So it's all about doing the max maximum you can. Gustavo, I'm pretty sure that was a double front roll, landing a little bit stop, but that's going to score high. Looks like the wind's a little lighter now, so let's see how these guys go through this heat.
Yeah, we're squeezing the last drops that we can out of the wind and the light as we come up to about an hour's daylight left here in Prea in Brazil. We must be approaching the last few minutes of this heat. I would say it's pretty close call. There's been a few butt checks as well, but as we were saying, Mitu manages to ride away from them pretty well, expending smaller amounts of energy. How much do you think the judges are allowing for butt checks, given the technicality of this discipline that they're riding without straps and it's fairly choppy out there?
Butt checks they are penalized. Probably like, every move has a base score. So, for example, a front roll has a base score of a 4.0. So, obviously, if you're having a butt check, it's normally half a point or 1 point, depending on the landing. Obviously, like you said before, it also has to do with the risk factor. So, if they're going Mach 10 meters high, coming down and have a butt check, they do have that. They do take that into account. So, yeah, they are penalized, but we have some of the best judges in the world, the five judging panel, and our head judge Danny Jimenez that have been working with us for a few years on the tour and tours before, so they know what they're doing. They have the utmost experience. And
I guess there's a butt check that comes to a stop and a planing butt check. So,
exactly.
But I guess the wind is just dropping off a little bit. The front roll shove, it seems to be a move that riders land when the wind drops just a little bit under 25. Gustavo landing a really nice one there.
Yeah. Definitely, I mean, it's hitting a shove it in the trick, you're letting the feet off the board. So the windier it is, the harder it is, because you have to kick the board perfectly to rotate with the wind. So yeah, it's usual to see those kind of board aerial tricks in lighter winds, and as it gets stronger, technicality comes in, risk factor, and it gets harder and harder. So also the judges, the scale, depending on the wind, a simple trick can turn into an absolutely really difficult trick. So yeah, all the riders have to know the families, know the trick bases, and know what tricks score the best in the best wind. There you go, like we were saying before about the transitions with Mito. This is one of Gustavo's signature moves, not quite pulling it off, but spins the board around, turns the feet, nice little kite loop, nice and easy on the inshore, style, power, and goes out the other side.
But that's where experience is going to come in, understanding and having a big trick range to be able to pull different tricks out in slightly different wind conditions and ride to the conditions. A lot of the younger inexperienced riders will probably have a game plan in their head and won't necessarily be able to switch that up through the heat if the wind changes, I guess.
Absolutely, like you're saying, the experience. I remember, but when I was a youngster on tour, you'd have your little note, and if you miss that first trick, you're done. You don't have the experience to adapt and go to the conditions. Riders like me too, being there, got the T-shirt, and they will adapt mid-heat. So if for some reason they're not landing it, they put the kite a little bit higher. If for some reason the wind is gustier, they change their technique, their tactics. And yeah, that's where you really see the veterans and the guys with experience out there. Yeah.
Back roll kite loop transition from Gustavo Arroyo, just on the buzzer there at the end, claiming cheers from the crowd there. It's a nice little trick, nice little transition at the end, and looks good and feels good. And he'll be glad to get through that heat. The judges have got some work to do now to pick apart these two as we go into the replay of some of the highlights that we may not have seen on screen just in the last 8 minutes. It's going to be tight.
That's going to be tight. There you go, Gustavo actually pulling off James Crew's signature move, that back roll shove it. Yeah, really good to see. Me too.
There's that foot switch that we're
talking about. Close heat. Looks like the wind was a little bit lighter in this heat. The guys aren't going as big. I think they're going to have to start putting bigger kites up there. But yeah, definitely very similar riders, pulling off all the moves. It's going to be a close heat.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how the wind holds up. For the last few days that we've been here, the wind has continued through until dusk, perhaps not quite as strongly, but definitely contestable. But with 3 days still to go in the contest window, it will be interesting to see how Juan Antonio, our race director, wants to push on. He always wants to push on through and get a result. So we will have some news for you on that soon, and we'll keep you updated as soon as we know as to how far the competition is going to progress. But for sure, it looks like we're going to get another couple of rounds in here. In Prea, as we see Mitu Montero juggling his skills, tic-tac, get the board underneath, and just a very slight butt check, but powering the kite up nicely to pull him out.
Yeah, it's the tic-tac's really becoming part of the sport. It's like the old board-offs back in the day. I think Mark Xing would have a smile on his face when he was looking at some of these things. It's great to see, and yeah, definitely. I think I can see a couple of riders pumping up bigger kites. The wind's dropping off a bit. I mean, it's amazing. We've had since 9 o'clock in the morning. It's almost 5 o'clock now. We've had winds. This is what Brazil is about. Prea. It's consistent.
It really is. I remember the first time I came, and I'd been kite surfing for a long time at the time, and it took me a long time to eventually visit Brazil. But it just blows you away, the consistency. You know, the season here is 7 months long. I guess the further north you go, the longer it stays windy. But yeah, from Fortaleza upwards, I guess 1,000 kilometers up towards Athens, there is wind every day. And at this time of year in November, believe it or not, the consistency is 100% of days. So no shortage of competition coming up over the next few days. But for now, we're going to jump to a commercial break, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Foi sumido. O sabor original de Sprite voltou.
So we're back here at the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour in Brazil, in Prea. As you can see, it is still windy and sunny. Marcos, this is amazing. I can't believe how many hours we have.
It's a machine of wind, man. It's natural, it's organic, it's Brazil, it's hot, and it's overwhelming of emotions.
This
is Brazilian style, man.
I can see, you know, as soon as I start seeing a few caipirinhas on the beach, now we know it's that time. And
all around goosebumps.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I've traveled the world a long time, and still Brazil blows me away every single year I come back. How consistent it is. They have this wind on tap. It's a ventilador.
Yeah, the ventilador. Totalmente, muy potente ventilador.
Here we have Ayrton Cosolino starting off the heat with a nice little reverse straight into it. He's up against Mr. Evan Netsch.
East Coaster USA guy?
Yep, exactly.
Region of North Carolina, am I right?
Yeah, correct.
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see Evan back on tour. He's been away for a while. He's one of our US riders. It's great to see an event in Brazil, this side of the continent, and seeing these guys appear again.
Amazing. And Cosolino yesterday, man. Oh, he nailed the training sessions. The training sessions, all about Cosolino yesterday.
Absolutely. Ayrton, he's a force to be reckoned with. He is the man to beat. But Evan's going to give him a run for his money. A nice little toe side 5 there. Amazing to see. Smooth. Evan has some style.
Oh, a lot of good transitions on the tricks. Oh, look at the range of this. Oh, my Lord.
And he just says hi to the crowd mid kite loop rodeo. This is good to see. Smiles. They're enjoying this.
All around smiles and like a matrix technique.
Absolutely. It looks like we just had, for some reason, our race director, Juan Antonio, is just AP this heat.
You're going to do a restart?
Yeah, it looks like it. For some reason, there's been an AP. Yeah. Just waiting for some information. So
just a little training session before the heat.
Yeah,
a warm up.
Yeah, get in the crowd.
Nobody need to be more warm than this.
Oh man,
very cool, man.
No, it's good to see. I mean,
so Brazil is treating you well so far. Once again.
Amazing. Once again. I mean, in a place like this, Prea, Rancho de Peixe. You know, thanks again.
Can get better than this, man. Thank you, the maestro Paolo.
Oh, maestro, the Capitán General.
Capitán General.
It's great to see. I mean, we feel like home here, and it's amazing.
For sure.
Here you go, these guys. Oh, looks like Evan has a crease on his board.
I saw it.
You saw that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
And it's functioned well so far.
Hey, these guys, I mean, you know, they're good riders. I bet we could give these guys the door of the Posada,
like a Pokeball. They can ride a Pokeball.
Absolutely. So we have our sports director, Jaime Reyes, just running around. Looks like we're going to be going into the restart very soon.
It's such a globally tour. Everybody comes from a different background. It's so cool to see. Super democratic.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, all of us come from different generations in the sport. I mean, like you say, yourself, you come from skateboarding, being around,
yeah.
and it's nice to have different views, and I think it's what makes a complete overview of how the sport should be portrayed.
For sure. Back in the day, in the 70s, I think surf generate all those new sports like skating and kiting and windsurfing and everything. Now have his own movement. It's not attached to the other father's sport.
Yeah,
it's so cool to have
their own expression.
Yeah, it's a family affair, kite family affair with 4 different versions. Strapless is so groundbreaking, so vanguard.
Yeah, it is a big family. Jesus, I reckon he just hit China.
Oh, the hit is... Oh, we're going to try to figure out what's going on. Maybe it's a lack of light. We are standby.
Okay, looks like we're having a couple of technical issues here. I can see Jaime with the AP flag up. It looks like for some reason we're postponing this heat. You know, as now having the live streaming just makes it more interesting.
For sure.
Having these guys, it's amazing to see. This is the first event of the GKA we've had a live stream.
Groundbreaking moment.
Absolutely, man. It's great to see. And having guys like you here speaking with us, thank you very much.
Oh, man, I should say thank you a lot. I'm so proud to be surrounded with this family affair of kite-strapless surfing.
Yeah.
It's such a groundbreaking sport, moving forward each and every event, each and every heat.
There you go. We have Ayrton on the shore giving shakas. There is the maestro de ceremonia on screen right now.
The boss of the comp.
Mr. Juan Antonio Aragon. This is our race director. He is well known throughout the tour. You can see him looking at his watch, cruising, smooth, coordinated. For some reason, yeah, I can bet he isn't too happy right now because we have the AP, but I'm sure he would get everything sorted out very shortly to go forward. I mean,
sooner or later he will be smiling.
Absolutely, for sure.
Because Prea right now is all about smiling. Man, well, let's see what's happened so far in this heat. A little view what's happening with the performance. Oh my God, look at the hanging time. Joe.
Man, one of the, it doesn't matter. I'm lucky enough to see Ayrton at my home spot so many times.
Cool.
You can just see, it's just in a little high five to the crowd, going through smooth. The kite control this guy has is
amazing.
Unbelievable. It's why he's world champion. And you can see Evan just, okay, no, I'm not going to go forward. I'm going to go backwards, land fins, smooth out. Might as well just, grab a beer from the public and go back in. It's really good to see.
So cool. He rotated from one side and threw the feet out. And we can see this,
we can
the
see
body's bump
crease.
there.
Yeah, for some reason he must have an issue there. But
doesn't change so much his performance so far.
No. These guys, like I say, give him a door and they're
surfing. Give me a spoon, he can travel his kite surfing.
For sure.
And this guy, oh my God, he's matrix.
There you go.
How about creativity?
Oh man, Ayrton, he is the creator.
How you can call a trick like this? It's so.
It's not easy. I mean, I can thankfully we have the top 5 judges up there that have the difficult job
ability to decode what's going on.
Yeah, there you go. And we can see there we have Jaime and Kiko holding up that AP flag.
And they gotta hold it strong, man. This is Prea.
Okay, so it looks like we're getting back into the mojo and running. You can see the great thing about this event as well is we have the live scoring system, so the riders and the trainers and family on the beach can check with their mobile phones what the scoring is happening live.
Perfect.
That, starts creating tactics, starts creating, hey, no, you have
static games.
Yeah, exactly. You need a 6.5. Come on, you got to step it up. Or
you got to try to land that trick so you can be able to receive the proper score.
Yeah, it's great to see this kind of progression in our sport. And
such a fresh score. You guys are building the level, rising the level up.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's nice to be part of something being born.
For sure. And, such a vanguard sport, groundbreaking movement.
It's amazing.
The first live streaming. Oh, to be able to be a part. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's great, and
goosebumps all over, man.
Yeah, I hope all the family and friends all over the world are enjoying this and giving us double shakas up.
Yeah, so, I just saw double shakas, man.
Yeah.
all Aussie affair, a lot of European here, Central Americans, the Cabo Verdean guys always pushing the level up. Portuguese guy, Brazilians with the DNA of surf riders.
I mean,
I was
how about the local Brazilians?
Yeah.
We've got like guys like Rafael do Sousa, Rafael Costa, excuse me.
My God.
This is the local boy from Paracuru. Gave Mito Monteiro a serious run
I
for
saw
his
it,
money.
man. Powerhouse, so power.
It's great to see the local Brazilians. I mean, when you think of Brazil, surfing comes into your mind. One of the things that comes into your mind.
Brazilian Storm generation.
Yeah, I mean, like in surfing now, Felipe Toledo
Oh my
and
God.
Gabriel Medina.
Yeah, video game surfing.
Yeah, oh man.
I was talking to Pedro Matos. He's a new guy on the game right now, and he have the Brazilian DNA because he came from Postinho. You know Postinho?
Yeah, yeah.
Postinho is a super shallow and hollow wave, so he got the DNA of a powerful surfing like Felipe Ferreira back in the day.
Yeah.
All those guys, Mila. We have a pretty scene. It's cool for me because I have another task, another skill. There is a DJ skill,
Cool.
and I used to be residing in K8. So
There
I'm
you
a
go.
DJ for the guys there.
Oh, okay, so beers on me tonight, and we're gonna hit some good music.
For sure, anytime. And DJ MC also.
Oh man, multitask. Like
Yeah,
we're
four
saying,
language.
multitask.
Bad Spanish, and bad French, but a lot of effort.
Hey,
Je m'appelle Marco, j'habite à Rio.
hey, man.
J'aime beaucoup la France, tous mes amis de France. Salut.
Salut. You got to be multitask, especially we are citizens of the world. And
I'm like you,
I can't
man.
imagine you being quiet, so I guess you gotta have languages to talk to everybody around.
Oh, my communication skills is pretty up.
Yeah, and if not,
I'm
you
a
always
Brazilian
do-
ambassador for a lot of sports and culture. I became a chef, recent, so
A chef?
chef de
Okay.
cuisine also.
You're gonna have to show your skills. Eh?
I'm amped to do that for you guys.
Perfect,
I'm pretty
man.
specialized in poke, a lot of raw fish recipes,
way, poke.
ceviche.
That's
Yeah,
it.
and I do a poke like with Brazilian nuts, so it's a more
Oh,
Brazilian
okay.
poke.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So put your money where your mouth is and poke for tomorrow.
Okay. Beats and poke.
There you go.
Well, we are freestyling here, guys, just to be able to, close the gap here between heats, and we can see a festival kite surfing ahead.
You can see like Jerry out the back. Just look at the crowd there on the beach. Everybody's amped, just looking. You can see Ayrton's kite there on the left, the duotone, Neo. Ayrton is one of the top riders, and a big shout out.
I
to one
love
of
his
our
style,
main-
man.
Yeah, and,
Such a wide stance, solid.
He's solid. And
He's so creative with the tricks. He can pull up one trick in one rotation and then rotate back in another rotation in the same trick.
it's amazing.
I love the combos, man. All about the combos.
Yeah, we have to give a big shout out there to one of our sponsors, F1 and Manera, to helping to make this event happen, like Rancho de Peixe, Importación de Sport. Without
Amazing.
these guys, all
Not just the
little
big
boys.
brands as Sprite and Red Bull,
Absolutely.
but
All of
Rancho de
them.
Peixe, the Maestro, the kite gear. Oh my God, you guys, such a family affair. Everybody building the sport together. This is kite surfing for kite surfers and for a new audience.
Nah,
My
it's
God,
good.
can-
Looks like AP flag down, so that means in 1 minute time we will have the red flag going up. So it looks like we're going to hit sequence again. So
Cool.
stay tuned.
Gonna be the last heat of the day? Okay. In 4 minutes, we're gonna be on. We can see a competitor there ready to go.
Yeah, it
Is
looks
that
like
Ethan?
looks like Evan. Yeah, that's
Evan?
the Cabrina. So that is Evan.
You can see by the gear.
Yeah. I mean, we tour around with these guys all year. I pretty much it gets to a point where I reckon I know their blood type and food.
Oh my
so
God.
yeah, it's
The DNA of the guys, the gear,
yeah,
the
it's,
family background.
it's good. They're a good bunch and one big family, and it's really cool to see. So there we have, like on screen, you can see Evan Netch from USA. Nice to see him on tour again. It's a very stylish rider. And Mr. Ayrton Airline Cosolino. He is our reigning world champion from Cape Verde.
This is his nickname?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ayrton Cosolino. Ayrton Cosolino.
My God, how cool.
Okay, so there we have it. Red flag for the heat between Ayrton and Evan.
A nice clash, different style, different backgrounds, different flags being represented here.
Absolutely. I mean, Evan is a smooth, very technical rider. land smoothly, nice style, tweaking that little surf style, and then you have Ayrton. There you go. This is what our tour is about. High fives, saying it. Come on, I reckon they're probably saying whoever loses is going to have to do something at the end. But
They putting a bet on.
yeah, that's it.
You're going to pay the beer later, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see who is going to be at the bar by the end of the day.
Maybe going to be a game of caipirinhas.
Oh, that could be dangerous. That
I
could
know.
be dangerous.
Just for the last day, man.
yeah.
Not for today. You got to be steady.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the beauties of this this event is, once again, we have the single and double elimination. So
cool. Oh, we have Paolo with the interview right now, so we're going to click right to the backdrop.
Posso falar? Ok, boa tarde a todos, meu nome é Paulo, eu sou um dos aqui do Rancho do Peixe, onde está acontecendo o evento. Eu estou aqui com o Ludovic, da GL Events, nosso grande parceiro nesta empresa, e com o maestro Mito Monteiro. Mito, como foi a última?
Foi muito legal, né? É um prazer estar aqui assim competindo nessa zona, porque eu aqui sinto em casa, então tem toda a galera, né, que dá assim o claque. E então pronto, assim, é muita emoção e muita pressão, né? Então consegui passar mais assim uma etapa e vamos ver, vou dar meu máximo para ter bom resultado aqui. E obrigado por tudo, por dar essa oportunidade de nós estarmos aqui.
Para nós é um prazer, uma honra tê-los todos aqui. Então agora a semifinal.
Vamos ver.
Quem vai encontrar? O
Camilo ou Ayrton?
Camilo ou Ayrton, nada mal. A nossa torcida aqui é para todos vocês, mas nós temos um carinho para ele especial. Ele é parte da nossa família, então não dá para torcer para todo mundo, mas assim, eu vou falar que para ele temos um carinho especial. É muito tempo que trabalha junto com a gente. Tá tudo perfeito aqui? Tá tudo bem o evento?
Tudo perfeito, paraíso. Aqui,
Crítica
olha,
depois, quando termina a entrevista.
Não. Aqui eu digo, é um ginásio para kitesurf, não é? Porque a condição aqui é muito boa, vento forte, não é? Então eu vou convidar a todos a vir aqui para experimentar, porque se vocês querem mulher no strapless, aqui é o paraíso. Então, vem aí.
Ludo, primeira vez aqui, fala alguma coisa de como é.
Sim, é um grande prazer e é o início de uma grande aventura para a gente de organizar essas etapas de surf. Um grande prazer de receber você e todos esses grandes atletas num paraíso, como se fala. Então, muito obrigado para vir.
Um abraço.
It's all about the maestros.
It is the maestro.
It's a reunion of maestros, guys. How cool is that, man? Paolo is the legend, man. Thank you for the dessert. Yesterday we have the cocada mole.
Man, that's what it's called.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
Soft cocada is a coconut
That
dessert.
was so good. I was glad I stayed at the table a little longer.
He make a double dessert for us, guys.
No, that's good stuff. Again, the food, the family, how Brazil portrays to the world. It's a big smile, double shackers to everybody. That's what Brazil is all about, huh?
Yeah, positive vibration all around, man. We're super proud to have you guys here. Brazil it's common in Brazil to work with tourists, to receive people, to try to speak different language, to be able to hold everybody together. And you guys are all the props and kudos for you guys. Such a well-organized tour, such a well-organized family. It's a family affair in a strapless kite surfing competition.
Absolutely. I mean, thanks for having us, and here we go.
Let's
this
see.
is it. It's on Ayrton Corsolino against Mr. Evan Netsch. So we have Evan coming on the inside, looking for that little spot, going big, jumping at the same time.
How cool is that image?
We had, I think it looked like Evan not landing. We had a nice back roll from Ayrton and a back roll tic-tac attempt from Evan. So these guys are on, they're going head for head.
Oh my gosh, super overwhelming.
Oh, look at the height. Now that you don't see often. Ayrton missing a trick.
Yeah,
you can
but the
see
range
the
of the trick, oh my God.
Yeah, he takes off and just lands. He's going to land in Jerry.
For sure. He's going to beat Jerry for a little caipirinha, like a virgin caipirinha, just with the lemon juice.
Yeah, of course. No, it's one of the things, the judging criteria, the risk factor, amplitude, power, height. The guys combine it all. Like you see, this is what I'm saying about Evan. Smooth,
the blind
chill,
landing, man.
just
So charming.
as if it's easy. That's
effortless.
the style. That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
style. Goes out, looking for
So
that
casual.
side air free. just yeah, it's great to see the different styles and the combinations these guys can come in these amazing warm 25 knot conditions. Ayrton double tic tac. Ooh, hey, this is unusual to see. Ayrton missing some of his first tricks.
He's feeling the pressure, do you think?
I think he can be feeling the pressure. You know, I mean, we're getting to the final rounds of the competition, the single, and Evan almost landing that. That's one of the harder tricks, a front shoulder. He's been trying that in every heat so far. Hasn't landed it yet, but I'm sure he's going to get it soon.
He's going to pull one sooner or later.
So it looks like, and okay,
nice.
If you're going to land something, it's that shifty free handle pass variation for Ayrton. He is actually one of the only guys that does this move. That is a wake style move, and he does it with the same amount of power, style, and flow as guys who have foot straps or boot. Amazing
cool.
to see.
Such a signature move.
Yeah, he is.
For him to be able to be the only one that pulled
and there it is.
Wow.
There we have it. Evan has pulled it off and just kicks the board off on the short just to make, making that landing count. So yeah, close heat so far. Ayrton has landed a shifty free. Evan's landed a couple of tricks. I think Evan's probably got the upper hand right now, Marcos.
Yeah, right now I think. We don't have an official score, but the atmosphere, the tricks that he landed.
Yeah, it definitely looks like. You can see, look at the crowd. One of the things that amazes me about Brazil is how close they can go. There you go.
Oh, Lord.
Double back roll loop, rodeo.
Whoa.
That's unusual. Again, I mean, he is human.
Yeah, of course.
You can see, I mean, it looks like the wind's dropping off a little bit.
A little bit, I can feel.
Sunset's starting to come in, the wind starts to go off, which, I mean, considering after 8 hours of pure wind, it's not, it can happen,
Yeah, it's not flat, it's just a little smoother.
I mean, the wind's dropping off. Let me rectify that. The guys are still on 10-meter kites,
Yeah.
We're used to 14s. Evan's looking for something there, but there you go. So we have Ayrton, rodeo, kite, loop. Okay, stepping it up, easy landing. These are the tricks. Ayrton, this is where you see the experience of the more veteran riders. Is he's changed his game plan a little bit. Probably going to start doing some of the less difficult tricks, stack up the numbers, and then go forward.
Just to put some numbers.
There you go. Yeah. Front roll. Start getting the mojo.
Now the game is super tight.
Starts coming.
The mojo is back. The mojo is moving, maybe.
Oh, definitely.
How exciting, man. It's a combination of tricks all the time. It's super energetic.
It's super interactive with the crowd.
Yeah, there's
as well.
No gap between.
No. These guys don't stop. And, they have 8-minute heats, 4 minutes transitions at the moment. And, they don't have a trick limit. And the top 8 tricks from different families is what gives them their overall score. So there you go. Really nice, lofty grab back roll for Ayrton. It's that extra little style. Ayrton is known for his height. He is one of the best riders out there. He's the man to beat. So let's see if Evan next is up to it.
Yeah, look at this. Whoa.
Just hitting a little chop there.
Yeah.
Conditions, lighter winds is harder to, strapless is if you have the wind, because you place the board so the board stays on your feet with the force of the wind. So the lighter the conditions are, the more technical it gets. So
you cannot stall so strong.
Absolutely, it's amazing how these guys. It looks like they have glue or magnets under their
Yeah,
feet.
for sure. The pads are good, man.
Yeah.
If they are using walks, they are using the best walks of the globe.
Absolutely. There you go. Back roll, tic-tac, landed perfect for Ayrton.
I think the mojo is moving
definitely. He's back in his groove, sinking it. Just had a little hiccup at the beginning, but this is what defines the better riders. Starts off not so good. His experience says, hey, chill out, calm down.
How fast he fight back, man.
Exactly.
Amazing. They have different styles, so it's good to watch.
There you go. Nice little air reverse, toe side air reverse.
I love the reverse moves, man.
It's just those little details, little stylish moves. It's really good to see the combinations. Like
the stance, the posture, how they use the gear.
Evan's looking for something. Back row, tic-tac, just losing it. I mean, think how it looks easy, but think how hard that is. And Ayrton, varial flip.
Whoa.
Just easy as anything.
Effortless, flawless.
Yeah, they just fly through the air.
They make everything difficult look like so easy to do, so smooth.
It's great to see him. Like today, a local hero, Camille Delanois, the youngster. He's hungry. He's coming up. I think he's, we're going to see him continue further in this competition. And
For sure.
Great to
Progressing.
see the local guys killing it.
Yeah, it's good to see the local guys going ahead.
Evan unhooked front row. Not often we see that. That's a new move.
He loses the grip of the board a little bit.
Yeah, lost the grip of the board. Like we were saying, they used the wind to position the board into the wind and suddenly stopped it.
Oof. My lord, how power is this guy, man?
Ayrton is Mr. Powerhouse. He knows how to do it. I would not want to be his board.
Oh, me neither.
Landing from those heights with that guy on top, you can hear the pain.
You can feel and hear the pain.
Yeah. You can see Evans using more the flats of the inside. There you go.
Whoa.
That's a nice little variation. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean
A blind
to do
landing,
that.
strange blind landing.
Yeah, they land backwards, forwards, sideways. As long as he
doesn't
landed,
matter.
it counts.
You gotta land it.
Here we go, boogie loop. This is So Ayrton has been trying this.
Boogie loop attempt here in the competition?
Yeah, that looks like, no, actually, first attempt was from Paulino.
Oh, cool.
Ayrton was not happy to see his move being tried before him.
His signature move,
but
man.
yeah, this is a, kite loop front roll with a strapless board in between your legs.
How technical is that, man?
Technical and can end in tears.
Yeah, for sure. It's risky. It's all about the rule book and risky one of the things.
Absolutely.
One of the chapters.
Yeah, but Ayrton just swimming back to his board. Look at that image right there. You have the water, the wind, the Brazilian fishing boats in the back, the sunset.
Can be charming than that, man.
It doesn't get better. So here we have a few replays. So this was Ayrton's opening move, just a absolute killer of a back row. There you can see him just floating through. This is what it's all about. These were actually the first moves that he missed, Marco, as you see.
Oh, yeah. He's so solid.
So yeah, that was a close heat. I think probably we saw Ayrton concluding a few more moves going higher, but Evan is such a stylish rider.
I love his style,
He has
man.
that ease. They're just
easy flow.
Slow, and that there is probably the key move of probably one of the key moves of the event. You saw Ayrton doing the shifty free handle pass variation, combining wake style with no straps or boots. So great to see, and just how these guys go so high and control the kite.
What about the range of those tricks? My God.
I reckon they see the sunset, they want to go to
all the way.
Jericoacoara June and get one
They
of those.
want to do a high five on people in Jericoacoara.
Absolutely. Guys, if you get there, bring me one.
Yeah.
And Marcus, I'm thinking you want one as well.
For
so
sure.
There we go.
A sunset caipirinha.
Oh, it doesn't get better than that. There you go. It's great to see how they combine all different aspects of our sport. I see some of these guys doing the board offs. It reminds me of the days of Adam Koch and Mark Shin. You see them do their handle passes. Guys like Aaron Hadlow, some of the freestyles from the beginning.
Have a little DNA of the old school tricks with
Absolutely.
the new DNA of the new school tricks.
Yeah, I mean these kids, because let's not forget they're kids.
Yeah, they're kids.
Makes me sound old, but they're 21.
We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, guys. We'll be right back with the action. Stick around. Okay, guys, we're back in action here in Prea, the northeast of Brazil. The region, the state is Ceará, one of the most amazing places of Brazil for tourists. You gotta be here, you gotta check the scene, you gotta be able to kite surfing here. If you can go strapless, it's better. All the props to our sponsors, Pride, Red Bull, Rancho do Peixe with Maestro Paolo, all the GKA crew, our broadcasting crew. It's a family kite surfing affair.
Absolutely. It's all about the family, the stoke, the happy, and the shaka. It's great to see. And you can see some of the guys getting prepared that it looks like we have local wonder boy, Camille Delanois, He has been pushing. This is his home ground. He can literally see the window of his room from this beach. He's hungry, he's ready, and I reckon he's going to do some damage.
And he's evolving each and every day. It's amazing how he evolved in the last 2 years.
It's insane. I mean, I remember seeing Camille coming on the tour a couple of years ago. You know, you could see the potential, but the amount this kid has progressed through the last couple of years is amazing, and it really is a shout out there to how the younger generation is hungry and coming up.
And going to change the game.
For
and
sure.
what's so cool to watch you guys chatting on Portuguese there, showing off his
he was,
Portuguese skills.
He was under pressure there.
I know.
That was good. No, he pulled it
That
off.
was my idea. He can handle the pressure inside of the water. He got to be able to handle the pressure outside.
Absolutely, he pulled the Portuguese off. So there you go. We have Camille, big back roll grab of a kite loop, smooth, opening the heat right in front of his contender.
What a smooth transition and landing, man.
That's a way to start the heat. The psychological game is so important as well.
Oh yeah, and he got the local knowledge.
We have James Carew. So we have the Aussie destroyer and the smooth cruiser Camille Delanois, local boy. This is a good heat.
He's a clash of schools. The powerhouse of an Aussie guy with a smooth operator of the French local Brazilian guy.
Yep. You can hear the crowd behind, even from in the booth here. They're shouting. You can see. So, there you go. Back roll, tic-tac, rodeo, landing smooth. Camille's out there. He's on it. He is on it.
That's going to be a pretty exciting heat, guys.
It's going to be a high-scoring maneuver right there. So you can see that, there you go. That is the image, the contenders. We have James, kite loop going out of the screen. Does he pull it off? There you go. Once again, I do not want to be those boards.
Oh my God, this guy's strong. It's a Russell Crowe from Kite-Surf, Kite-Surfing.
Oh man, that was a big one. You could see him fly right out of our ski markers. It's great to see the height these guys are putting in. These two, probably the two biggest younger rookies out there. James just pulling it off there. Camille, little lofty board off, not quite sticking the landing. I probably think the judges won't count that because, you know, a butt check is when they land and stop but kind of cruise out of it, and then when they completely stop and then
almost like a layback.
Again. Exactly, it doesn't count. So pretty close heat right now. Great to see the guys ripping, and you can hear the crowd behind them.
Was the first trick that he landed not so perfectly.
Whoa. Losing the board there. I mean, it looks so easy, but how hard is that, Marcus?
Oh my
you know,
God.
he's upside down, kicking the board, spinning. You have a
flipping around.
You have a skateboarding background.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
And a surfing background too. I used to compete on surfing super hard. Back in my day, the airs were just a properly normal air, no grabs, no rotation. It was super hard, even though it was simple comparing to Felipe Toledo, those guys, you know, strapless kite surfing guys.
So here we have coming again, trying that trick again. This time landing it. No, once again that won't count. So Camille's little look over the shoulder.
The nervous
what is he doing? Oh, there you go. Smooth.
Is the mojo
front
changing?
roll from James.
James has such a strong base foundation. The stance is so solid.
He's a pretty strong rider. Also coming from the surfing, you see this guy's happy in 10-foot overhead.
I talk about surfing with him. I compare his style to Solly Bailey, Aussie rider.
Absolutely, there he goes. That is his signature move right there. That is the toe side 5 shove it. He is the only guy on tour doing that move, and he's been pulling it off heat after heat.
Whoa, exclusive move.
So here we have Camille, the rider from France, local ball. 1, 2, perfect double, wrapping it up. And James also a little layback there, but move to move, these guys are equaling each other, and you can see the hunger out there, Marcos.
Oh my God. Hunger for strike mission. So cool to compare the guys that have such a different styles.
Yeah, you have the lofty, smooth style from Camille, and then the bomb of power from James Carew. Great to see the different styles. Let's see who prevails.
He reminds me a little bit of the broad boy, the Kobe Aberton. Oh, the frame, man. Look like an MMA fighter.
Yeah. You wouldn't mess with him. You wouldn't mess with him. But James, he wouldn't hurt a fly.
Oh, yeah. He's such a gentleman.
Nah, it's all of the guys. The wonderful thing about the tour, the charisma, they're so down to earth. It's great to see the new generation with respect. And there you go. Hey, Camille's claiming.
Yeah.
Last heat, he started claiming his moves. He just started racking up the points. This is where it gets at.
He using the crowd for his advantage.
Oh, we had James just flying through our screen there. Looks like another move. This is a tough one. I mean, you know, our judges are 5 international judges.
Oh my God, I don't
here.
want to be a judge right now.
No, I would not want to be a judge right now. These are crucial movements. Oh, James, kite loop.
Ooh.
He's looking for that. The second time he's attempted that move, you can just...
Oh, so we're going to have a quick cut here for the interview with Cozzolino. He ripped the last heat, so let's hear the man, the legend.
Here with current reigning champion Edson Cozzolino leading the tour at the minute, and so far the event is going to plan, right?
It's so good, loving here, amazing conditions. Unfortunately,
Okay, Marcos, my lip syncing skills aren't great, but
not so good right now.
We're going to go back to the interview as soon as we get past that issue. But action on the water, James Carew speeding out, full speed. What's he got for us? Come on, James.
Let's see, James.
Just a little transition lets me down.
Just
lets
adjusting,
me down.
yeah. Now he's gonna go explosive.
He's hungry, you can see it. He's looking for something. You got to look for that chop. Goes big. This is it. Oh, just misses it.
He missed the grab.
He misses the grab, so that's his back roll. Shove it, hitting a little flip in there. Sometimes we're going to need an A3 piece of paper to write down these trick names.
we call in skateboarding, we call it a finger flip.
It's great. I think strapless, it has so much progression. It's great how it combines all different board sports.
For
That's
sure.
what it's about.
I can see some influence from BMX or things like that in the whip, in the tail whip of the board.
Oh, he lands it, pulls it off. Little stops there, but, you know, racking up the points. These boys.
He's so solid.
Looks like the wind's a little lighter now. The sun's starting to go down.
Tell.
1, 2. Does he hit it? Oh, trying the double front roll with shove it. James, just the simple front roll shove it, looking for that flat section on the inside.
A little trouble with the seaweed there.
Yeah. You don't want to be dropping your kite in there or you'll be fishing.
Yeah.
So 1 minute left in this heat. This is very close. Both of the young guns looking to go through further in the competition. James can't get that kite loop. He's been trying. He's looking for that height. A little bit of a heavier rider, so a little harder in these slight
Maybe
conditions.
he needs more power to win.
Both of these guys very strong riders in strong wind conditions. Camille coming from Prea, the ventilador of 25 knots year round.
Prea the ventilador is an amazing nickname, man. He's the Hawaii of kite surfing here in Brazil, man.
Yeah, and look at that light, the sunset, the water. James.
Oh, whoa, man.
Close.
That was so technical.
He knows he needs just that one move. Both of these riders looking at him, making sure what this guy's doing, looking for that chop. They know both of them is very close, looking for that last move. At the end of the heat, I would not. Don't land it now, Camille. Come on. Oh, okay, there you go. I would not want to be a judge right now. That is a close
way,
heat.
man. I cannot tell who won this heat. Was a super overwhelming performance heat. Such a clash of styles, more smooth to the French guy, more powerful in the solid stance of the Aussie guy.
There you go, the back row, tic-tac rodeo from James Carew. Started before we had Camille. You go, both of these guys, you can see technical, lofty, spinning moves, landing super easy. Here you have James trying those kite loops.
How about the range of this trick, Joe?
James Carew is one of the more powerful riders out on tour. He actually came away from the big air in Fuerteventura, coming on top of the podium.
Whoa.
He's known for his power, and looks like he's starting to get his consistency in as well. So he's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the tour and the future years in our sport.
If you join us right now, you gotta stick to those names. Those guys gonna be leading the pack.
There you go. That is the toe side air 5 with a shove at his signature movement.
How technical is this trick, man?
I couldn't start to explain because I don't even know how they do
It's
it.
a video game trick, almost.
It's insane. You know, he's coming off from a switch stance, does the 540 as he kicks the board spin in the 360. I'm tired from just even saying it, Marcos.
Oh, even for calling the trick is hard.
There you go, Camille. It's all about the details. Little star. Look at that back roll, extending the 1 foot there, looking like a ballerina with even the little toes extended. It's all about the little extra millimeters.
My wife, who used to be a ballerina, she will love to watch these.
It's good to see, and the guy's really pushing it. Like there, he had that move and tries to hit the little finger flick.
He
like
lost
you
the
say.
grip.
They know they have to push as hard as possible. These are the final rounds in the competition.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go big.
So guys, we're gonna call the last commercial break. We'll be right back with the last commentating here, and we'll be right back. No action, just to close the deal here. We are back here. We're in the verge for the finals here. We're in a standby situation right now. Am I right, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine we were on standby after such a close heat like that last one between Camille and James. Also, you know, we can see the sunset there. First day of competition, we were on standby for the finals, and here, front and center, we have Mr. Jorgen Vogt and Jaime Arias, our CEO, Secretary General, and Sports Director. Without these guys, this tour would not happen, so a big shout out to both of them.
Shout out, Toto.
And it's good
all the props to the guys.
It's good to see Jaime holding the flag.
Oh, he's the man to hold the flag, man.
So yeah, we're just on standby here to see if we are going to run the finals. I know you can see the sunset out there. They're probably deciding. Looked like the wind was a little lighter in that last heat.
I agree.
So I think they're probably our race director.
If you're gonna bet, maybe you're gonna bet for standby go through tomorrow.
Absolutely. You know, we want the best conditions out there for the riders. So
got a good range of days.
The best range of
days. Here in Praia do Ventilador, come on.
It doesn't matter. There you go. That's the image. We have the sunset in the back, the crowd on the beach, the best of the best in the water.
The reggae's going on the PA. Oh my God, what atmosphere, guys. If you have the chance, jump on and come to Rancho de Peixe, Prea, all the region. If you a kite-surfer lover, it's the place to be, man.
And here we
Look,
have...
even the kid is bouncing.
There we go. We have probably a future women's world champion here standing front and center. Remember this face, guys. She's there looking, taking in all the information to be ready to
15 years from now, she's going to be killing in the World Tour. I can tell she has style.
Yeah, the girls got it. The girls got it. It's great to see so much atmosphere on the beach. Families, you know, everybody's here. It's one of the national sports. It's great.
It's literally a family affair. I think the French guy won, maybe. The crowd is getting nuts.
Let's have a see. Yeah, I didn't quite hear there. We're just waiting to get some of the information in. Yep, there you go. Smile from ear to ear. Camille Delanois, local boy, has done it. He has kicked out James Carew from Australia. That is a big win for him. He's been training hard. There he is with his little sister, who's also a contender here for the women.
How cool is that, man?
Kiting family. Kiting family.
It's not metaphorical. It's a family affair, guys.
Absolutely. And then we have his compadre, Ralph Bollin from France. Also, this is it. It's all about the friendship.
Salut pour le mec de France ici. Pour toute la Mac de France ici, the Frenchman / Cearense.
Yeah. Great to see. Look at the Stoke. He is over the moon.
He's the
Congratulations,
ambassador of
Camille.
Stoke, man.
That's great. That's great to see. That was a close heat.
For
Deserved
sure.
it. Rode well. Great to see him.
Took a while to figure out who won.
Yeah, like I say, I think we have an easy job here. I wouldn't want to be a judge.
Compared to the judge?
Yeah.
Easy tax, man. Just go with the flow.
Absolutely. Always go with the flow.
Yeah, it's such an organic sport. You guys are building the moves as the competition's being held on.
It's great to have, the guys there and the girls, they are the ambassadors of our sport, and, the sport is in their hands, and they do such a good job to portray it. New generations, older generations, surfing,
Great ambassadors.
freestyle. It's great to see.
No ego trip here, man.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how cool the guys are. Mito, the legends, all the guys are so easygoing, so down to earth.
It's a group effort. You can see if anybody starts to even slightly step out of line, they have the veterans come down and put them back in their place. There's no stepping out of line here.
You don't need to choke nobody, no jiu-jitsu moves, just a little conversation is enough. Look at this t-shirt,
Look at
man.
this t-shirt. I think that's Me Too on the back of this guy t-shirt.
How cool.
That's supportive.
Yeah,
There
two
you
guys
go.
with the same shirt.
That's great. This is Me Too. He is a legend. He is the godfather of our
If we
sport.
translate the word myth in Portuguese, it's mito.
There you
so
go.
the myth is a mito is a myth. So you're gonna confuse the audience, but it's like this, man.
That's great. There we have one of the girl riders come in. It looks like Jalou. Jalou is one of the better women riders out there. Comes from Holland, spends most of the year traveling the world, surfing the waves. It's really good to see we have 8 girls at this event.
How cool.
And especially for a pure strapless freestyle, the girls are starting to come on, train and pull some moves. So yeah, really a big shout out to all the women coming to this event, and we look forward to seeing them more at each event.
I was chatting with Marcela Vici. She's a local in Postinho. She's a wave rider, man. She go to Mentawai and charge the professional surfers girls, and she's here for the first competition, the strapless kite surfing competition. She's amazing. She have a great, like you guys, down the earth, good atmosphere, super humble.
It's how it should be. I mean, we are very fortunate people to be
the privilege to be here.
This is
man.
a privilege. I mean, look at the office.
Hashtag I love my job.
Exactly. Hashtag
all
hashtag,
around.
Absolutely. It's,
hashtag double shaka. Look at the sunset, guys.
This is we're getting romantic now. This is starting to get romantic.
I miss my wife. Hey, baby, I miss you. Next time I'll bring you.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't get angry with me. I'm gonna bring you next time for sure.
But with this image, I definitely reckon you're sleeping on the sofa for next week.
On the Oca, the indigenous Oca here.
Absolutely. It's amazing. Brazil, it's just palm tree, sunset, caipirinha, great people.
Oh my God.
It's
I'm proud to be a part of this country, man. It's such a multiple country, sports country. Of course, we got major sports as soccer, MMA is huge here, surfing is getting huge, skating and kiting is getting super popular right now, man. We got a big coast, Joe.
Yeah, we have, I mean...
Good weather.
Brazil is huge, great weather, great vibes. It's what it's all about. And yeah, here we have on screen, it looks like we're on standby for our super final. So great to see. Looks like we will be running this final. So our race
Stick around, guys.
Yeah, definitely our race director, Juan Antonio, is deciding to put these guys in the water. So yeah, stick around, stay tuned. It looks like we're going to be going for the final.
It's cool to see how the guys can handle like the different like smooth wind like right now in sunset time. The wind is not so strong, not in the peak anymore. We can see the moon shining
we got
together
the sun,
with the sunset.
The moon.
Oh my God!
That's it. We got the final.
Yeah, paradise for filmmakers also.
Absolutely. It's great to see.
Look at this.
Perfect.
High tide and low tide. So now I remember the Bob Marley lyrics. High tide and low tide. Full moon.
So we have, stand by for AP back down. After the AP flag, which is the red and white flag you see in the corner of our screens, we have a 1 minute until we initiate the transition time for the competition.
Cool.
So in less than 5 minutes, it looks like we're going to be starting the super final.
And it's going to be 8 minutes super final?
8 minute super final. So I'm nervous already,
Oh my
Marcos.
God, it's
I'm
going to be explosive,
already.
man. I'm going to jump from my chair here. I'm going to do a double flip rotation.
Okay, so it looks like we're starting to get here, ready to rumble, rock and roll.
Let's get ready for rumble.
So we have Mr. Corsolino out on the water, popping around, just testing everything, making sure his board's in one piece after some of those hard landings.
Check the gear, man.
I think, you know, this is it's these preparation moments. Every athlete has his little ritual. Every single time you see Ayrton go out on the water, stick around, just cruise. I mean, wouldn't you with these views? You
For
just
sure,
go out
I'll
there.
be cruising.
Exactly. It's fine. The little superstitions, the little details. I mean, you've been a competitor yourself.
For sure, the same shore, the same fins, maybe the same prayer.
Yeah, it's good to see. So there we have red flag for the super final, the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour event in Brazil, Prea.
I'm gonna have the dance of chairs here coming up, Mr. Jim. Thank you guys for holding here. It's such a overwhelming feeling for me, man.
Marcos, thank you very much. Great to see you again, and so good to see Jim back on the mic here. Jim Gaunt. There we have Ayrton just on the shore, waiting around, getting his mojo together, ready to hit the water.
Hey Joe.
Hey Jim, how's it
Back
going?
in the game, yeah. So no doubt you noticed there was a slight delay in proceedings there. So we had a protest from a rider, Heat 22B. Just a slight technical question with one of the judges about one of the scores being made. As we've been talking about all afternoon, it's a very open scene here that we have at the Global Kite Sports Association. So there was a slight pause in the competition there while the judges looked into it. It has been deemed that the competition can carry on now.
Okay.
That's why there was a slight delay. So all the judges had to look back through their score sheets and check a couple of things. Just against a protest. I mean, that's how protests work, right?
That's how it works.
A rider's allowed to come up to the judges' tower and have a look, and if he believes that there is a irregularity or something's happened, then an investigation looks into it. There's a lot riding on the competition. We're coming up to the closing stages of today, the second semi-final. Ayrton Corsolino against Mitri Montero. The business is back on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you know, also process is part of the competition. You know, these guys, it's their living, it's their professional athletes, and we have a solid team of judges with our head judge, Danny Jimenez, up there. So they would definitely, you know, review all of the scores, and if there was a discrepancy, you know, everybody can make a mistake. Everybody's human, and I'm sure they went over everything. It's good to see that they resolved that and to see what is happening again. So here we have in our screen is Ayrton Corsolino, and out the back there we can see Mitu. It's curious because Mitu, you know, Ayrton was the youngster in Cape Verde, and Mitu is the rider to beat out there. Great to see them, that family vibe they have between them.
Yeah, absolutely, and just unfortunate that we just cut out on the interview I was doing with Ayrton there, but it just started getting too close to time for him to be back in the water again. Believe it or not, Ayrton does get nervous, he said, so we decided to not have a second go on that interview to give him as much time as possible to get ready to get on the water. As it turned out, there was a protest, so he had a little bit longer as well, which is why the start of this competition is delayed. As you can see, we are going to approach in a beautiful dusk here in Prea. Hopefully the wind will hold out so we can complete this second semi-final, and we will know the lineup for the final. I believe that the winner of the last round, big heat between James Carew and Camille Delanoy, was Camille.
Camille, yeah, local boy from Prea.
That's how you rest.
That's how you rest. You're just chilling. By the way, guys, come on. I'm ready for my heat. I'm laying down. This is just, it shows the how collected and ready Ayrton is, and yeah, against a guy like me too, as two friends fighting for the title, and like you say, Camille going through in the last heat must have been a close one. Wouldn't want to be a judge. James and Camille throwing it down, and congratulations to Camille Delanoy to going through to the super final.
Yeah, nice to take a step outside actually and step back behind the competition zone a little bit and see James particularly boosting above the crowd. So you always know someone's going high when there's a slight incline on the beach as well. The crowd has stood at the top of a little hill, and when you stand back, James is going above the crowd as well. So nice to see him. He's had an amazing day, but that's enough for him today. Camille is the one who is proving unbeatable at the moment. and we will see who will join him in the final between Mity Montero and Ayrton Cuzzolino. Ayrton, interestingly, off camera was saying that the wind isn't quite enough for him still yet, but the riders say that so often, you know, they always want more and more and more.
They want more and more.
All the other riders have been saying how perfect the conditions are. We are dropping around to more 18 to 20 knots out there at the moment.
Yeah.
So if there's two guys who can handle it and show the best of competition in that wind range, it's Ayrton Cuzzolino and Mity Montero, who have deep trick bags to be able to reach into. Tricks that work in light wind and strong wind, a lot of technicality. What I really like seeing from Ayrton outside, he was riding a bigger kite than Evan in the last round. He was on a 10, but still made that shifty 3 look so controlled.
So easy.
Yeah.
That's where you see the veterans. There you go, Ayrton, back row, board, flip. How did he land that?
The board was like 90 degrees in the water.
That's insane. This is where you see how these guys, it looks like they're going to absolutely fall off, and they just pull it off in the last instant. Me Too spinning around out there. I mean, both of these guys, imagine the trick list these guys have in their heads, wondering strong wind, light wind. This is how they adapt. It shows their experience.
Yeah, you know, I said exactly the same thing earlier on, because obviously we're lucky to have Galito coming into this. So 9-time freestyle windsurfing world champion, now converting to strapless freestyle, great friend of Ayrton Cuzzolino, the man you see on your screen. So two guys pushing both their sports, the boundaries of them forward. But imagine how many tricks you have when you're a windsurfing world champion and a kite-surfing competitor. Huge amount.
Their brains must be going on overdrive, and you can see Me Too and Ayrton meeting trick for trick there with the back roll tic-tac. Both of these guys know each other really well. Me Too actually looks like he's trying to set up there for something. There he goes into a front roll, 1 foot, smooth, nice and controlled, just starting to rack up the points, get the mojo. And you can see Ayrton's looking for that unhook maneuver. He's looking for the flats.
Yeah, just adding a little bit of D-power there as he came in. Oh, power in the bar up again, sorry. So yeah, on the way in he had a bit more D-power on the bar, didn't he? Which you would think was setting up for an unhook trick. He has done a couple of them really nicely on the inside. And the distance that he travels when he keeps his kite low is still huge.
You go, Me Too, just looping it, nice. That's what you call landing it by the skin of your teeth. It's amazing to see how these guys pull these landings off. Wind definitely looks a little bit lighter. Yeah. But I think, like you say, they put a bigger kite and they seem to be performing fine.
Yeah. In the lighter winds, though, harder to get the board to stick through your feet through a no-grab rotation. Mitsu's landed 2 nice ones already. Front roll with a foot switch and a front roll rodeo, I believe, as well. As we see Ayrton launching up into a rodeo with a kite loop, landing nicely, spinning the bar to untwist his lines as he comes in and tacks in close to the beach before heading back out again. As the kickers line up, right foot forward. Does he see anything he likes? We'll have to wait for the replay to see if we do.
Yeah, you can see, like you say, the trick list these guys have. They're looking for the chop, looking for the track. You know, this is the semi-finals. You've got to be secure, but you also have to risk that risk factor. There you can see, because the wind is lighter, the board's harder to stick to the feet when those no-grab maneuvers. It's absolutely more technical than when it is higher wind. So both of these guys are adapting really well and just racking the points up and slowly getting bigger. You see Ayrton unhooking, looking at shifty, making it look easy. And Me Too on the back, double back row rodeo, didn't quite stick the landing. I mean, that shifty free from Ayrton, any wake starter would look at that and he would give him props.
And I think they're the ones, when you interview Ayrton after a heat, he loves going big and he loves going high, but I think he loves sticking those because that move crosses the boundaries between the disciplines and nobody can argue, hey, you know, I'm not really into strapless freestyle or whatever. If you're a wake starter and you're watching that, you know, you've got to give respect for not just for landing the move, but the way he lands it, where he keeps his kite, the takeoff power and the landing power and the control. There's not a wobble in there.
No, he has the sleeves, as they would say. It's got the style and the ease, and it's great to see the joint of the sports and all the different disciplines, and even like different sports, some of the flips like the skateboarding. Me Too, he's looking for that double front roll, and there's the boogie loop. He's been looking for that. I think he probably hit China going down underneath that water, but it's amazing to see.
The inversion where he is in that maneuver. Now that maneuver is one that whether you're a strapless freestyler or a king of the air rider, that move is risky, and the lighter the wind, the higher the risk. And he's right on the boundary of that almost being impossible to land, because he hasn't got the height and the whip from the kite to come around, you know. So the drop that you have, whether you're at 10 meters or 15 meters, if you're dropping from that height like a stone, it's hard.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to hurt, and you know, it shows the dedication and what they know they need to do in a hit like this to come out on top. And you can see Mitu there. He's looking for something, looking for that front row. I think he probably gets some points for that. It was a big butt check, but he did ride out of it. Let's see what the judges reward him for that.
He's great at the combinations, Mitu. You know, halfway through a trick, he has the ability to slightly switch up what he's doing, take one hand off the bar, and I think these are harder conditions. What's really hard to understand is that in the lighter wind, it's more technical, but it doesn't look it. I mean, the two best riders in the game putting on a show here at dusk for the fans who are still hanging out at Prea ahead of the Caipirinhas that are no doubt about to come.
No doubt. I mean, you can just see Ayrton there going big. He's maximizing everything out of the wind, squeezing all the juice from the fruit. And you can see him on that kite loop board off. He just lands it clean.
Double front.
Going for that double. He was looking for that. He got it in the end. Double front with a switch of the feet there. That's going to be a high scoring move. And like you say, Mitu's great at the combinations. Those little tweaks to make the difference in the points. And Ayrton, just another kite loop rodeo, smooth, chilled, stacking up some of the points because this is definitely going to be a close heat.
Yeah. Both riders have stepped up to 10-meter kites. I guess we started out the day with riders varying between 8 and 9, and there is quite a big difference between a 2-meter step up and the 10-meter wave kites. At the moment, have really good access to power as well as really good dump of power as well. But both riders really managing that power band really well to mix up between smaller technical tricks like that, which we haven't seen that many of today.
Yeah, that was a really nice toe side air free from Mitu. Like you say, the little technical thing, it's all about the decimals. In a heat like this, there's not going to be huge point difference. It's the little details. Ayrton going huge, another kite loop, board off. That is going to be a better score than the last one. He was looking for that. That's going to be a crucial move in this heat.
Yeah, taking off right foot forward, landing left foot forward. There's a lot of technicality in that as well.
And Mitu answering. There you go, little grasshopper. Don't think that I don't still have it. That's great to see.
Yeah, I mean, Ayrton's the first to point towards Mitu being his inspiration for getting into strapless freestyle. And at 35, Mitu is still throwing down and reaching semi-finals of world-class competitions. He's still not out of it, potentially reaching the final in this single elimination, especially with moves like that, which we just cut off to revert back to Ayrton with his late back roll rodeo.
Oh, that was close. That's not going to be counted. It will be counted as a crash. That's his inverted back roll kite loop he's been trying. There you go, on the buzzer. Wow, that was a really close heat. Power versus technicality. It's going to be a hard one to call.
Yeah, essentially it was power versus technicality, though both have elements of each that they can bring into the heat. But I guess you have to choose the direction that you're going to take in an 8-minute final against one of the best riders in the world. And Ayrton, like a cat as usual, getting away with some impossible board angles as their board comes into land, juggling skills as well, showing a serious amount of control and aerial awareness, just as Mitu Montero, equally adept with his hands as he is with his feet, just getting the board underneath there with lovely control. I'm sure we're going to see his front roll switch, a double front switch as well from Mitu as that comes in. Riding out just with his wrist in the end there as well. And here's the 3-1-3 from Ayrton. Stoked with it. He loves landing that trick.
He does. You can see him. It's like you said before. It's combining the different disciplines of the sport, and it doesn't matter where you come from. You know, I remember standing on the beach with Rio, one of the best wave riders out there, and he was actually doing some drone footage of Ayrton, and he said, I'm not a huge fan of all the strapless moves, but man, that's sick. That is incredible. So, you know, the combination is where it's at.
Yeah, he's got everything. Absolutely got everything.
And
High volume of tricks, and I got the impression as we entered the last 2 or 3 minutes, they were aware of it. They're really savvy competitors, and they left enough in the locker and stepped it up. And not many crashes at the end there. Be interesting to see on the judges' sheets. It would be a hard one to keep up with. They were both taking off at the same time a lot of the time. Ayrton going for his late back roll just as Mitu was taking off in the background. We saw that. Yeah, I mean, the judges will be having a couple of headaches at the end of today. It's been a busy first day. Still 3 more days of the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour coming up. We will be climaxing the single elimination. We still, of course, have the final and the mini-final to come of this ladder. Not today, but that's more likely to come tomorrow. And then we'll be progressing either into the ladies' competition or continuing with the double elimination final of the men. But what a day it's been. First day of competition in Prea, first day in Brazil for the Global Kite Sports Association, and I think we can say we are off to a banging start.
Without a doubt, it's amazing. You know, they turned the fan on at 11 o'clock and it's still blowing. This is what Prea in Brazil is amazing for, that consistency of wind. We've had 8-9 hours of wind non-stop. In that, like you pointed out before, that key point of the 25 knots, and you know, best of the best on the water, and it's been a show to watch.
Yeah, and you can see how much they've all been enjoying it. They enjoy every session on this tour. But yeah, great to see. And as we approach dusk, we're heading towards the end of this live stream. But we have another interview with our friend, our new Brazilian friend Marcus, who is out on the beach and will be bringing us some more news right now.
Thank you guys. Such an overwhelming day of competition.
So okay, we're gonna get some lip syncing skills here, Jim. We'll be back there. You can see him there.
Can you hear, guys?
Looks like we have a little technical details, but you can see Marcos is there with Camille Denonois, the local boy here from Prea. He was riding incredibly, and great to see him against James Carew. And then you can see Mitu Monteiro coming off the water. He's like at home here at Jim. He spends months and smile every day. I mean, Mitu must be one of the best ambassadors we have in our sport.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Camille Denonois would have been great to hear from him here. He's obviously the first guy that we know is in the final. I believe it's his first final in the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour. What a place to do it, a couple of miles away from his home, and has literally been faultless today. Showed us everything: big air, good rotations, technical ability, shove-its. Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to rise to the occasion and perform under pressure.
Absolutely, you got to mix it up. It's great to see Mitu coming into the semi-finals, and you know, he's always a contender for the podium, winning events like back in the day in Dakar. And yeah, so it's great to see some of these riders. And yeah, so that's going to be it for today, guys. We're going to go on standby. So thank you ever so much for tuning in, Jim. It's been a pleasure. And we will see you guys again tomorrow for the GKA Kite-Surf World Tour here in Prea, Brazil. Take care, guys, and thanks for tuning in.